I want the torture.
Yeah, I need it. No, wait. You know what? Something I wanted to ask. Okay, so we are
live.
Jeff, how are you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. And we're actually
nice.
live right now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Hello.
That's what I was asking. Hello, what's up, everybody? So here we are again for some more torture, some more pain. We're gonna start watching Hidden Colors 2. Obviously, we're only gonna get probably like halfway through this one because it takes us forever.
We have so many problems with it.
Yeah, and tonight we on the roster is of course me and Tyler. We got Prince of Dew, we got Patty Politics, and we got LiveLife 42. Skepo might be joining us here in a little bit. We don't know quite yet. But yeah, real quick in the chat, if everybody's audio is sounding pretty good, let us know. I am trying to do something with a mono channel on my mic, so I don't have the weird variable wobble thing. But yeah, if it looks like everything's good, then we're gonna go ahead and get started, because this is the pain. If you were not familiar, Hidden Colors is a series of documentaries. How many are there, Tyler?
4.
Four?
Jesus Christ.
We're going to be doing this forever. That's okay. I love
Yeah,
doing
it's never gonna end. It's never gonna end.
Oh, yeah.
I like giving myself brain cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soul cancer, even.
It's so much cancer that you're actually curing your cancer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like negative cancer.
And so the basic idea behind these is it's documentaries by Tariq Nasheed, and
Oh boy,
they are absolutely terrible. They're just god awful.
Yes.
They're some of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, I guess here we go, guys.
Oh wait. 1 second. Something I wanted to say before we start is important. I think it's important. Okay. Something we didn't do in the previous stream or the previous movie is talk about the people who are talking, like who they are, whatever. So I looked it up, and well, they are all scholars, professors, book authors, whatever. But there's one thing that I wanted to say because I think it's relevant to this. Hold on, I'm looking. Where's my note? There it is. Okay, so basically, one of the women who were like speaking, not the Pope had one, the other one, that I call Woko lady. I'm looking up her name right now, but she actually passed away in 2016, at the beginning of 2016. I might be a she-lord, but I'm not a disrespectful piece of shit. So I would like to, have a drink in her name, maybe.
Oh, hey, yeah. Cheers.
Because, 80 years old is a shit ton of time to live, and she was, like, kicking it and doing these kind of documentaries up until the end, and I think it's really quite a feat.
Yeah.
So, cheers.
Absolutely.
Oh, yay. Yes.
Rest in peace.
You might have provided us some cancer, but and we're gonna laugh at it, but cheers to you.
Rest in peace. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's fuck this frisbee.
Loving the music so far.
So, and make.
Ooh.
Cool
Fire.
effects. Clean.
Very demonic.
Plates. Oh wait, it's the. Oh, it's the. Okay. I thought this was something important.
Oh, Crown T's in the chat. What's up, Crown?
About African peoples is that we left
How are you
evidence of
doing?
ourselves all over this planet. And that's the problem with European scientists. The deeper they dig, the blacker the planet gets. And
Why is that a problem?
Now is this infusion of European.
That dude's got a Yada hat. He's got a fucking straight up Yada hat,
Right?
dude.
He's got the little unks. I never understand. That is like one of my biggest problems with these people. Why do they believe that they're Egyptians?
Yeah, ancient Egyptian.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god.
I guess philosophies about what the past was, and no one else on TV is actually giving us evidence of what we were, who we were, but Europeans.
Oh.
Those terrible Europeans, man.
Every person has the right to know their ancestral history.
Oh, new face.
No matter
New
where they
face.
are in the world.
Oh yeah, that is a new face. He wasn't in the
New
last
face.
No, he wasn't.
I think they changed in this one.
one.
It's new people.
90% of world history is African history. And even that 10% Africa is extraordinarily involved in making it what it is.
You won't find a painting.
That's
you won't
scary
find a
music.
statue. You won't find a monument anywhere prior to 1500.
This guy again.
That isn't Africoid in some way, shape,
Yeah, he was in the other one. Someone in the chat is saying, could we get a little more gain on the video?
A little more gain on the video.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me take a look at my OBS. I think that's actually just how the video is, to be honest.
Yeah, that's basically how the video was compressed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any way to turn that up. Let me see. Is there any way I could do it in post?
You could like make us quieter and then tell people to like crank it up a little.
Are they talking about volume on the video?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was about to say, turn on the brightness of your computer.
Yeah, well, yeah. No. Yeah, I don't think so. I think the only way that we could possibly do that is if we all individually, like... Well, you know what I could do? I can actually, like, just tweak you guys slightly down and me slightly down. And then that might work. I don't know. We'll play with it as we go along. Okay. I think that's it. In chat, tell me if like I need to turn on. Oh, and Skepo's here.
Oh,
well, I didn't come in because I thought there was a lot of people and we'd all be talking over each other. But like you guys need me. Sorry.
Of course we do. Of course we do. All right. Let's
Your voice with the bunny is just it's amazing. It's adorable. I really like it. I really like it.
Hello, Skepo.
Hi, Joe.
All right, let's do this.
White folk got a problem. Black folk problem is that white folk got a problem.
Is that all they have is black and white photos?
The real problem we have is white supremacy. The real problem.
Oh, there's some color ones there.
There's some color. Have of us.
What is he wearing?
Oh, I don't know. I'll pause it next time he shows up.
1790 up until 1965, your immigration laws play almost zero for black folk. You had a zero immigration law for black folk because you're destined to be a planned minority. You know what a minority means? That means a loser.
No.
What?
Because you're a minority, you're automatically deemed a loser. What? Who thinks that?
What?
Son of a bitch.
What?
It's like, come on, man. I mean, like, today they got the same equal rights. Everybody has the same equal rights nowadays. I'm like, and they're dwelling on the past. I'm like, come on. This is just retarded.
Loser.
It's very difficult to control a group of people militarily because eventually the money will run out if you try to control a group of people militarily. And also the possibility of them raising up against you is always imminent. So it's best to control a people psychologically.
When you conquer a people, you have two choices. One, you have to commit an act of genocide. Either you wipe them out completely.
Comes the false dichotomy.
Genocide so that you can take over the resources of the land. Or you kill the warrior class of these people.
Nice. False dichotomy. Love it.
Dude, I need to get stoned. I can't do this.
Oh my
I can't do this.
She is done. We're 3 minutes in and she's done already.
The children and the elderly. This is just war history. In our situation, meaning those that live in the United States, the choice was enslavement, not genocide. That means that from a child, you have to be taught that everything about you is wrong.
Except, pause it. Except
wow.
that was in the past. This is now. Nobody is taught that they're lesser than human because they're living in America nowadays.
Unless you're white.
Of course.
Unless you're white.
Damn.
Dude, savage.
Who you were and where you came from is wrong. And I mean wrong, immoral and illegal.
Oh, come on, shut up.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh my god,
No.
I can already see what this is. Like I just made a video about this guy who used melanin theory. Like it's a racist scientific theory that because black people have more melanin, they have like super strength, supernatural powers, super intelligence, all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's called melanin theory. Like it's crazy.
This is like triggering though, because I'm melanin challenged.
Yeah, there's I mean, the subtitle of this film is Hidden Colors 2: The Triumph of Melanin.
It's a beautiful word to use, huh?
Yeah.
Everyone has melanin, just some a little bit more than others.
Thanks, Patty. Thanks for reminding me. I don't have as much. I appreciate that.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know melanin was linked to an IQ or whatever intelligence.
That's what these black supremacists believe. It's,
yeah.
It's really crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they also think that a shaman can like summon lightning to shoot white people, but you know.
Right. Or they can strum a lute over somebody's body to heal them. Don't forget that one.
Yeah.
Right? Oh yeah. I don't have
Hashtag.
health insurance because I have a lute.
Yeah. Hashtags loots for Africa, guys. We're gonna
Wait,
cure
you
AIDS.
can kill white people with lightning? What?
Loots cure AIDS.
Only white people.
But only
Don't
white,
worry,
yeah.
Black people aren't affected.
Melanin makes you lightning
sounds
proof.
no different than that one woman from like South Africa who did that one video about how they do the exact same thing, shoot stuff out of lightning.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. She said, what was it? Science was racist.
Yeah.
Yes,
Ex-husbands, ex-friends. That'd be awesome.
I hope you have health insurance because I got a loot.
Melanin is a neurochemical that is produced in part through the pituitary and the pineal gland.
No, it's
They both
not.
play a central
Wait,
role
called it
in the
neural.
production of
Yeah,
melanin.
neural.
Neuro?
Oh.
Where is
Wow.
it a neurochemical? It's just like what?
Oh God. Dr. Umar Johnson. What does he have a doctorate of? It says he's School of Psychology.
I'm gonna look it up.
He's also a
Umar
lecturer.
Johnson.
Of course,
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to fact check them.
Yeah, of course. Everything has to come from the pituitary gland. Fucking. Oh my God, pineal gland. Oh yeah.
Where's the pineal gland? I actually don't know much about this.
It's a very center of your brain.
I love.
It's part of the
like
endocrine system.
His page says Dr. Umar Johnson is a black psychologist. he's a black psychologist. Okay.
Right.
A national certified school psychologist based in Philadelphia. But tell me what he is. There's a Facebook page that says Umar Johnson is a fraud.
Is a frog?
A fraud. Fraud.
A fraud or a frog?
Oh, fraud! Oh, fraud! Oh, I thought you were saying frog.
No frogs. Reptilian.
No, he's a black fraud because he's the alt left black alt black.
Oh fuck! All right, let's do it.
Ultimately responsible for the color that we have in our skin. Now, historically, it had always been thought that melanin played a significant role in the intellectual propensity of African people. For example, when you study some of the Greek writings on melanin or the color of Africans, many of the Greek philosophers believed that melanin played some sort of a role in how Africans had been able to create and develop some of the sciences that they had come to be known for. So melanin was always considered an intellectual sort of a chemical.
What?
Okay, what does this have to do with anything?
Basically, what he's trying to say is that people without melanin are less intelligent than those with melanin.
Yeah. See, this is melanin theory. This is what I was talking about. This melanin theory.
Oh my God.
I want
White
to know,
supremacists say the
like,
exact same thing. That
that's
black
true.
people don't have.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Face realists.
okay. At least white supremacists are not saying that melanin is a neurochemical, because it is not. It is not a
Right.
neurochemical.
But this is why I don't understand why black supremacists and white supremacists, you know, I know they hate each other, but they really should just get along, because they both hate Jews. They both hate anybody who doesn't agree with them. They both hate, you know, Jesus, and typically they seem to kind of hate the truth about religion. And they both kind of just hate everybody. Why don't they get along?
I think they would get along. Like, I heard stories of like white supremacists and black supremacists getting along.
Oh man,
Jesus Christ!
My solution to this would be you grab all of them, white supremacists and black supremacists, you put them in the same room and give them all, I don't know,
battle
I don't know.
axes.
Battle axes,
Yes.
yeah.
Something I was thinking of something brutal, and just let them sort it out. You do what you want, guys, and I don't know. The one that stays alive, at the end, you shoot him, and you took care of the problem.
Give one of them, give one of them a loot, and that'll solve all of them.
So they can heal each other at the end.
The pineal gland, which produces melanin, it's shaped like a pine cone. And the origin of the word pineal literally means resembling a pine cone.
Jesus.
Now, in ancient symbolisms, the pine cone has always been represented because people knew the importance of the pineal gland as it related.
The fuck
to
is this guy talking about?
Do people wait? Do they actually think? Do they think that these people back then knew what the inside of the brain looks like?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they like
because they have melanin.
Hammered open some heads and like poked around to the brain. Well, the problem
is,
but
how would they know that specific part is what makes melanin?
It's all make believe and it's all more recent shit. This is not ancient ideas. Decalcifying your pineal gland is the kind of shit like woke, super spiritual, crusty hippies talk about all the time, man. You just gotta decalcify your pineal gland. Open your third eye. It's bullshit. It's been bullshit for years. So basically, these guys are co-opting pseudoscience that's been around for like a couple hundred years and saying like, oh, no, we knew about that like, 3,000-4,000 years ago.
Oh, man.
We were woke.
Because it was super woke.
Melanin is a molecule. And the concept of melanin
is a molecule.
It is black in its nature, and we find it
are those
guys, there's the evidence, man. It's over.
Molecules don't have color. What the fuck?
Underneath a microscope. We're done.
I imagine this fucking wanker.
This hangout is over.
I imagine this guy like reading a chemistry textbook and he sees like, a complex molecule and it's all like color coded for what's which atom, and he's like, that's the real color of those fucking, oh my god.
Right. Hydrogen is really red in real life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oxygen is blue, trust me.
Right. Why did they change the color of oxygen molecules in the textbooks from this year to this year? It's a conspiracy, man.
It's a conspiracy against black people, guys. I remember I remember a textbook when I was reading, when I was in high school and I was learning about these things. Some of the molecules were black, and it would be like they colored the molecules black, and obviously they aren't that color. But I can just imagine this guy years from now is like, you know what they don't do? They don't color molecules black anymore. You know what that means? They're trying to erase black people out of history, molecule history. Just.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
It's black genocide. They're starting with the molecules.
Unbelievable, right?
Find it in water, we find it in land, we find
water?
It in everything.
You literally cannot have melanin in water and have it be water.
Right? Where's my black water, guys? Where's my brown color
Unless
water?
it's polluter or something, otherwise you cannot have the water.
It's in the Black Sea, man.
God damn it.
If he wants brown water so bad, why doesn't he take his happy ass to Africa?
Oh.
Oh no, you didn't.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Savage.
She went there.
Sperm of the male and the egg of the woman, they're both layered with melanin.
No.
And they're gonna have an
No.
animation of it too.
No.
Look at this beautiful melanated sperm about to hook up with
Right.
this beautiful melanated egg.
It's so black. It's so black.
That's what?
That sperm is so black.
Oh yeah,
see
very
it, guys.
black. Like it's not white at all. It's black.
Oh my god.
That's why some are faster than others. Some have more melanin than the others, so they're faster, right?
I mean,
Yeah, there is a melanin explosion. And
A
the
melanin
God damn it.
Well, this
It's so hard.
You're not
There's no
showing
way.
me a black explosion. Show me the melanin explosion. It's red.
There's no way we're gonna get through this video like with this going on. Melanin explosion shows a pure white explosion in a melanin explosion. That's
Fucking brilliant.
that's the whitest melanin I've ever seen. Just
the fetus within that egg, and that fetus is literally coated with the melanin.
It's white. It's white.
That's a
no,
white
that's
baby.
white. You're showing me a white fetus. It's wrong. Because he should be black.
It's the only animation they could find.
Yeah, they couldn't find any stock footage of in utero black baby, I guess. I don't know.
like when Ellie was born, she was not like she's still not brown, but when Ellie was born, you know, like when babies come out, they really don't have a bunch of color. They usually come out very, very pale.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Yeah.
Grayish sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't get their color for a couple days. My kids were shocked because I used to be a midwife and I took them to a couple births and they're like, "How come the brown baby's not brown? Just give it a couple days, you guys."
Gotta wake that melanin up. Fuck, Jesus.
Goes on to form the brain and the central nervous system. So every human being begins with a melanin explosion.
No.
Wait a second.
Wait,
Wait, tell me this. This is a contradiction. Like, how could, black people have melanin, but the other people don't have melanin, but somehow they're all born with melanin?
I think
Because melanin explosion.
I think some of these guys, I don't think these guys are absolutely in agreement. I think some of these guys are more severe in the theory than others. So it's like a big contradiction. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a spectrum, yeah.
That fucking
Yeah, like
hat,
they
dude.
didn't talk this before. They feel they should have agreed on this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, what kind of bullshit are we presenting in this movie? They didn't do that.
Oh god.
Is an intelligence. It's an intelligence because it is the primary dynamic in every part of the cell. It's a primary dynamic in the core.
Dude, you're a
of the
fucking
human
made-up
being,
physicist.
as well
What
as
the fuck
to
are you
surface
talking
of the
about?
human being.
Yep.
Its intelligence is responsible for the forming of the nervous system. Every part of the nervous system has these little black dots all through it, which essentially carry information.
No way.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know this after 5 years studying biology, but apparently there are little black dots through our nervous system that carry information. I didn't know any of this.
You know what like really bothers me? They don't like this really isn't science. They judge, they see things from an observational everything, like from an observational point of view. If it's black or if it's colored black or brown, it must have melanin in it. I mean, they
There's a
see
black thing,
everything from
melanin.
such an observational, shallow point of view, where they phenotypes. They think phenotypes. If it has big lips, it must be black. Now, what if there was a white woman with big lips? Is she black now? Like that they judge everything
She's
from
trans.
phenotype.
She's trans black.
Yeah, she's trans black. If she can twerk good and she has big lips and a big butt, she's black.
All her genetic melanin just all went to her lips, I guess. I don't know.
Right, all of it.
Dude, I don't know.
What happens the other way around? Like if you have a black woman that doesn't twerk well and has thin lips, what happens?
That
She turned white?
I think that means her booty is melanin deficient.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Oh my god.
Albino booty.
Give her a loot and we can heal it.
God damn it.
I'm gonna use this loot joke the whole time.
Fucking A. Yes, please.
So melanin, from a physical standpoint, is that substance that accounts for what black people refer to as soul.
No,
What?
stop.
No.
Stop.
We walked in.
No way. Come on.
I just can't. This heresy. I can't. I'm sorry.
This is bad.
I just can't. I mean, do we have to do this? I mean,
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
You don't wanna die? Okay, but I wanna die. Okay? I want
He mentioned the soul. I mean, you know, I obviously believe in the soul, but this is supposed to be a historical and scientific look at I mean, you actually think my soul has color in it? Like my soul has melanin? Like that's stupid.
We should have made like a previous agreement on making a drinking game because they say melanin so many times. Dude.
Oh, dude.
I mean, like, can you imagine? I mean, just say like if say God exists, can you imagine God sitting there and just like, I'm gonna put a little bit of melanin in this one, give a little bit of melanin in this one. I don't like you, so I'm not gonna put no melanin in you.
You know what it is? He had melanin in like cake frosting containers, right?
Right.
And so he's just distributing the melanin, but sometimes he actually squeezes too hard, and sometimes he's like running out, and like you get an albino, you know, like
right.
That's what it is, man.
But I'm sorry.
There are actually some people that believe that God is black.
That's true. Some people believe the black woman is God.
Oh, there are a lot of people who believe that for sure.
But I mean, if you are talking about God or whatever, then it's more personal. So you can think whatever you want about how it looks, because it's more like an idea that you know, something that you could see. So of course you can do that. The problem is when you start saying the soul has melanin, because that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right. It always bothers me. I hope they don't go this route, but I feel like they might. Like black supremacists like to use the Bible as like proof of what they believe in, even though a lot of them don't actually believe in the Christian Bible. And like I hope they don't go down that route. But they've already mentioned the soul.
Oh, they might.
They will. They'll go through the route. They probably will.
Oh man.
So I said I was gonna have trouble monitoring the chat, but I have it open on my phone next to me. And somebody just asked a great question. When I get bruised, am I activating my melanin?
Oh damn!
Question.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
it's a really good question.
That is a really good question. Well,
are.
technically, bruises are like a response. You know, your blood. Isn't it when your blood is like seeping out of something? Is that what a bruise is?
Usually a bruise is like basically it's subdermal damage underneath your skin, and it's basically like it's an effect of deep tissue damage and a blood pooling effect, kind of blood pooling ish effect. This documentary already is turning my brain to mush, so I'm probably not gonna be able to describe it to
That's
you.
a good question. We're gonna have to come back to that.
Right. It's activating the melanin in the blood to protect the tissue of the whatever. Fuck it, let's go.
Something like that.
Differently, because we have access to a different form of energy than other folk.
Not
only
is melanin you're not different from anyone else. Calm down.
No.
You want to be special.
Right. He said that we talk differently because of our... I talk like your normal girl from Michigan. And I've been told that I talk white. Does that mean that I lack melanin in my voice box? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I guess. I don't know. When I get drunk and I start listening to fucking Ludacris, I guess I'm activating my melanin. I don't know.
When PewDiePie says nigga,
Oh my
PewDiePie says the
god!
N-word, is he
I cannot
activating
believe
his
just
melanin?
how many people actually react to that kind of nonsense. Like the fact that they reacted to PewDiePie the way they did was just so fucking ridiculous.
It's not the first time though.
I
Do
watched
you
the
remember?
video. He said it so innocently. You know, he was just playing around.
Yeah.
It's not the first time though. You know, the problem with PewDiePie is that there's like a shit ton of 14, 15, 16-year-olds that watch him. And I remember back like 2 years ago or something, he had some like the same problem basically, but with a rape joke. That was really stupid. It was like
I remember that. Yeah.
It was really fucking stupid. Like the joke was so fucking stupid, and people lost their shit. They lost their shit, and they made him apologize and make a video saying I'm sorry and deleting videos that contain the word rape. And calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that PewDiePie is a secret anti-SJW. Like I am pretty sure.
No, he is.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Think? Yeah.
He is.
I genuinely
yes, he
think
knows.
so.
I don't think so, but I don't.
Some people in the chat are asking what happened. PewDiePie got really excited in one of his videos, and he's like, yes, nigga, yes! And like that one tiny little instance of nigga, like just made everybody freak out. There was a hashtag PewDiePie is over party. Was that
exactly like, and then it was like 2 days ago, and people started calling me Uncle Tom and Coon on Twitter because I defended PewDiePie.
Oh, dude, I trolled the shit out of so many people that night. Oh my god. Holy shit.
The internet is so retarded.
It is. It's really amazing.
Black Twitter is extremely easy to troll. It's extremely easy to troll.
It was mostly like virtue signaling white boys that were pissed off at me. So.
Oh god,
it was like the black people that would actually piss off at me. That's it.
Aww.
What was the funny thing recently? It was like Black Navy or something, or
Nigger Navy.
Yeah. I was reading some of those because they were so funny, dude.
It was hilarious. Somebody wrote on their Twitter that every time Nigger Navy sinks a battleship, somebody yells "World Star."
Wow. That's funny.
Oh my god.
It was the funniest joke I've ever seen.
I just want to know if that's supposed to be like the modern naval equivalent of like the Tuskegee Airmen, you know? Like is it supposed to be a thing? I don't know.
Yes, but with more rap music in it. I don't know.
Captain, we're currently clocking 16 knots and blasting DMX. Very good. Continue.
No, it wouldn't be very good to you. You'd be like, yo, that's my shit.
Word. I don't know.
But melanin as an intelligence is a communication module that essentially broadcasts as well as receives information by
like midi
Wait. I can talk to the sun.
Broadcast information.
I can talk to the sun.
Did you hear that, guys? You hear that, guys? Tyler and I are radios. That's what we are. We're radios.
That's awesome. Like, I can actually talk to the fucking sun.
I'd like an easy listening song if you guys don't mind. Like, I'm thinking jazzy. You know, just you guys just pick that, please. Oh wait.
Can talk to the sun and look straight at it, and no, my eyes won't burn. That's what they should do. They should just go look at the sun, kind of be friends with it, see if your eyes burn.
I love this.
Yes, because melanin.
Because melanin. This graphic is amazing.
Dude, I have brown eyes, so that means I have melanin in my eyes. So I can go and like look at the sun and nothing will happen to me.
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
Jesus.
Nothing.
Signature.
What are those?
Scholars and scientists have been having conferences about melanin, to my awareness, at least since the 1920s.
The pineal glands of most of our white brothers and sisters are calcified, and so they make less melanin. And that comes from the historical relationship to what we call the Wormian Ice Age.
This is
that
midi-chlorians.
10,000 years
Jesus
of
Christ.
glacial freezing that happened in Europe after the Africans who were Maldi moved up there.
Whoa,
And
look at those wooden hooters.
became the survival
Damn, they were sexy. Put them back.
of the
No,
fittest. Who was able to adapt could survive. Who wasn't able to adapt died. So those people who were able to get rid of their melanin was able to survive. Those who could not get rid of the melanin, they died.
At some point they're gonna bring in like the interbreeding of Neanderthals as like some drastic reason why white people are melanin deficient. They have to.
I think this is crazy because I just did a video debunking all of this stuff, and now I'm confronted with this stuff again. I thought it was over. I thought I wouldn't have to deal with this again.
Keep dragging you back.
Right.
These scientists said that the pineal gland, they refer to the pineal gland as a vestigial organ. That is a calcified gland within the body that serves no purpose, as if the creator would create something that you didn't need. And it was only after the Vietnam War, in the late 60s and early 70s, that they began to rewrite their interpretation of the pineal gland. The reason for that was that a large number of African Americans fought and died during the Vietnam War. And whenever a soldier dies, there's an autopsy that's performed before their body is sent back to Dover Air Force Base.
No.
And what they discovered, what these physicians discovered, is that when they performed the autopsies, the 75 to 80% of the African American soldiers had a large functioning pineal gland. The pineal gland is normally about the size of your thumb. So it was not a vestigial organ in 70 to 80% of African Americans, but it is a calcified organ in 75 to 80% of people with European ancestry. So
Wow, that's some pseudoscience shit there, man. Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a lot of autopsies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. There's not.
I saw you get blown up, but I'm not sure why you died, so we're gonna go ahead and cut you open.
Right. Yeah, they did not perform autopsies on soldiers unless there was a specific reason to do so. Like, if autopsies aren't performed just for funsies. Jesus fucking Christ.
Because money, resources, someone has to do it. Like, why would they do it to everyone?
And
you have to preserve the body too.
Cause of death, yeah.
And not only that, but when you do a criminal autopsy, when you're trying to investigate the cause of death, most of the time they do not dissect the brain. They pull the brain out
and weigh it, yeah.
And they weigh it, they inspect it, and then they either put it back or they take the brain for testing or whatever it is that they do. But they don't just like, quick before we ship this dude's body home, let me cut open his skull and then go all the way into the inside of the fucking brain to look at this tiny, tiny little fucking gland.
In search for more learn.
Jesus.
They began to reevaluate the pineal gland. They began to reevaluate melanin.
I think if you talk to Dr. Welsing, she'll tell you this is about genetic annihilation or genetic survival. Okay? It's about genetics. Who will survive America? Who will survive the world?
Here we go.
Whose genetics was hold on? What is going to be the genetic or the genotype that's on the planet 1,000 years from now? Will it be white? Will it be brown? Will it be black? And so
who cares?
you find
who fucking cares? Like
who fucking
nobody cares if you're using it as some kind of a racial division, like using some kind of fact. Unbelievable.
I mean, does anybody at this point honestly think that there is going to be much of a difference in races in like 500 years? Like, I genuinely don't think so. I don't think there's going to be any clear lines anymore in just a small number of generations. It's just in the grander picture, the whole division, because we do have a global society now, I think those will completely collapse.
Yeah, and you're going to have a lot of, which we see now, racial, or not racial, but racial, intersexual, couples and stuff like that. So they're going to have mixed, genes, so on and so forth. So
sure.
Yeah.
You mean traitor to their race? I do believe that.
And what genocide?
So.
Yeah, racial genocide. But I mean, from a purely biological perspective, getting more diverse like genetic material into your gene pool makes for a stronger species. That's
Of
just how it
course.
works. That's how it
That's
fucking
the
works.
reason. That's the reason why you're not supposed to fuck your family. Because
Exactly.
you need people that are different from you. That's
Right.
how it works.
Yep.
Elements of the human family that find themselves suffering from the ecology that we're in, they're struggling to survive and to be able to maintain themselves. All nations,
What is he talking about? What
European
ecology?
nations,
What the
and
fuck is this guy talking
Americans,
about?
white Americans, are at minus birth rate.
I'm not really sure what he's talking about, to be honest.
He said
He's basically
ecology.
talking about the declining white population.
Oh,
Wait, that line is the whites, and the other one is the blacks.
why would they cloud out the text? Are we not supposed to know what's on this page?
It's not
I don't.
convenient.
I
Shut
think
up. You
that
didn't
I
see
think
it.
they don't want. Right. I don't think they want us to know what the text says. But
Right.
Don't look over there, Jeff.
it seems to me whenever people talk about these things like white genocide or that fertility in white people is falling or something, I don't think the fertility in white women and white men are falling at all. They've seen studies where people across the board, it's not just white people, but people are having babies later, in their 30s to 35, and once you hit 35 for a woman, you start actually your fertility drops, and people are doing so because it's easier to get education, not because you've lost your fertility and you just can't have children. People are just people are just able to get their education. They want to, like this feminism thing.
Right.
I'm not saying that feminism and getting your education is bad, but I'm a 21-year-old woman with a 6-month-old, and I chose to do so, and actually to leave school and to skip school and start a family first, because what my mom wants me to do is she wants me to get my master's degree or whatever, and she was about 30 when she got her master's degree or whatever, and basically when she was ready to have children, it was either then or never, and at that point she could only have 2, me and my sister.
Right.
So did I really want to go through that where I'm stressing out if I'm able to have children? No, not really. So I decided to do this family thing because already college costs too much in the first place.
That's
so
true.
I did the family thing, have a family, have my own home and whatnot, and that's worked out great for me. But feminism has told, in my opinion anyway, feminism has told women, to fear having children, to fear birth, to fear, get men in general, to fear getting married. And then on the other hand of the line, feminism has also told men that you don't matter and that we're cool if you can't have your children in a marriage or, parental dispute. And it's just kind of getting to the point where
that is
both
true.
sides,
Like
people don't want to deal with this.
That is true. Like there's this feminist organization called Now, right? Where they basically oppose like the whole entire joint custody almost every single time it's brought up.
Wow. Jesus.
That's sad. That's sad because stuff like that hurts. Like I grew up in a family with no father. He'd show up every once in a while to give a gift or two, but people don't realize like how much that will tear apart a kid. Denying another parent,
right.
To a child. That it really is detrimental to a child's mental state.
Right. Well,
Well, that and they.
Oh, please go ahead. Please.
No, they make you feel like a piece of shit if you want to stay home and take care of your kids. If you can financially afford it, and you're a piece of shit. You're not in the working world.
Oh yeah,
so
they really have. Like there was a Facebook post where someone had given thanks to stay-at-home mothers, and as soon as you got into the comments, it said, "How about thanks for us working mothers?" And I was like, "Well, bitch, it's not about you." The post was about stay-at-home mothers, and I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
It's okay.
Adorable. Yeah, the biological impetus to breed early was based on mortality rates. If we as a species don't live very long, then we need to make sure that we have some kids. But we live longer and longer and longer every single year, and the mortality rate keeps improving. So obviously, people are gonna want to breed later, and that means less opportunities for children. So makes sense to me, I think.
Right. I can't say shit. I had mine very, 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 very young.
Right now. Not 0 birth rate, but they're keeping up with the natural death. They're at minus birth rate. And so that's why there's so much emphasis on artificial birth creation and other ways to have babies and make babies that are beyond the normal. And you'll also find that this adopting black babies, the Haiti thing.
Oh yeah,
the
that's
children
just
of the
awful.
Central
Just
African
awful to
Republic.
adopt black babies. Just that one genocide.
Yeah.
Are they saying it makes sense?
I hate that.
Adopting?
You know, if black people have or these black people have a problem with white people adopting black babies, how about they take their butt out there and adopt these kids who need parents?
Fucking A. Fucking A.
Well, my ex and I tried to adopt in LA County a long time ago because I kept having miscarriages and I lost my son and I needed something to replace my little boy. So we looked into adoption, and they made such a big deal about they didn't have any white babies for us, and we had to take all these classes about it, if it was a black baby. They weren't sure if we could handle it because we were white, and it was just so that in the end they turned us down.
What would what?
You went through a state adoption. Was this a state adoption or a private?
No, this was through the state.
Wow.
That's discrimination. That's state discrimination.
You need a class to raise a black
Yeah,
kid?
specifically
Why?
to teach us how to deal with it because we're white and they're black and there's a difference, and
What's the
they wanted to make sure that we could be a proper parent, and then
their perception is that because you're white, if you're ever in a situation where you are being confronted about having a black child, I guess they perceive that you may not be able to handle it correctly.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the only thing you need to handle it with is mind your own business. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, how is this any different?
It was so awful. Like I felt, it was so bad. The whole experience was terrible. I was just like, ugh.
That's awful to me. Like, it's the same thing, and I say this about, I do believe this, even though a lot of people say it kind of in a vindictive way, but like about pro-life people. If you believe that children should be spared of, terrible things, you need to get out there and help people. And when you went out there and helped people and tried to adopt someone who needed a family, and the state turned you away, that's disturbing to me, that the state made it difficult and possibly turned you away because of your skin color when there are kids who need your love.
We wanted to get, I know we were looking at, we wanted a brother and a sister, like 2 or 3, and they just thought it was too much for us to handle. It was weird.
You know how we kind of make fun of like Black Lives Matter and white supremacists that actually talk about institutionalized racism? Well, this is a clear-cut case of actual institutionalized racism.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
I think, Patty, over on your end, there's something brushing up against your microphone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's my arm. I have my kid in my hand, and she's trying to reach for stuff she shouldn't.
Oh no, I understand. Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. We'll work through it. If people got a problem with it, they can fuck off. All right. Let's get more woke.
Adopted Filipino babies, Latino babies by the white community on such a high level it is to infuse their gene pool with the melanin.
Number of organ trafficking amongst Africans.
A few years ago, the president of
Say what?
The organ trafficking was a major concern on African
Oh, I don't know.
countries.
I have no idea.
What does this have to do with the adoption thing, though? I didn't understand.
They're implying that white people have something to do with kids being trafficked and their organs being taken.
Oh, really?
That's charming.
Really?
A man by the name of Idris Deby. He had a group of French charity workers arrested after it was found out that they were kidnapping children from that area. Now, Deby accused them of stealing the children from their parents and planning to sell the children to pedophile rings up in Europe.
What?
He also accused them of possibly planning.
What?
What the fuck? Someone fact check that right now.
Holy shit.
Who was the yeah.
Let me see if I can get his name.
To kill the
Chadian President Idris Deby expresses outrage over French group's attempt to kidnap and sell African children. I've never heard of that.
Same here.
Also-
Like, this is the first time I heard this.
I mean, if this is true, I suppose this is true. Like, this is one example of this. They're saying it like all these white people are always trafficking children. It's one example of this.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
pretty
using
sure
this.
there's.
Right, they're using this as a generalization that white people are adopting kids for the sole purpose of selling them to other people.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. There are no pedophile rings in fucking Africa, right? There are no child trafficking.
They're
In fucking
everywhere.
Africa. They're everywhere.
Child trafficking and child sex in Africa is rampant. But
It's everywhere.
But who cares to Tariq Nasheed? Tariq hasn't adopted any kids. What are the Tariq? Where are the kids that Tariq has adopted? Oh, zero. No African kids for Tariq.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, a basic search on it doesn't bring up shit. So I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat can find it.
Children to sell their organs. Now, this is the president of Chad saying this, and this was a big scandal with the Chadian government and the French government.
Have you noticed they
we need
blur
to
out all the white
understand
people's
everything
faces in
that's
this?
going on.
Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah. And they also blur out all the text for anything that might be corroborating or, not
denouncing their
corroborating.
opinion.
Yeah, don't look over there.
People going into Africa trying to get these children up out of here.
Oh, Benedict.
Yeah.
There's a war being waged on melanated people.
Oh my God, the
Color
past
should
again.
realize that
Here
a
we
war is
go.
going on. A lot of melanated people do not realize that this war is going on.
Yeah, actually,
photo.
I didn't know that there was actually a war against me. Thanks for telling me that.
I mean, are we on the platform of like everybody has melanin, but some have more, or are we on like some people just don't have melanin? Or is melanated a delineation of somebody who has a specific amount of melanin or higher?
Because that's really stupid. Because what happens when people have, I don't know, vitiligo, for example? What are they?
To me, when they say melanated people, I feel like they're specifically saying Black, like African American or African. I really think that's who they're specifically talking about.
Right.
Well, you could argue that I have melanin, for example, and I'm not
They
Black.
don't care. Well, you're a person of color, but I mean, I'm not trying to be like mean or anything, but they don't care about you. They don't.
I'm not trying to be mean.
I'm not trying, but they do not. Like, they'll sit there and say that they care about all the people of color, but the actual people that they care about are African Americans, and they're mostly talking about African Americans, and maybe they mean Africans included, but they're mostly talking about African Americans. And every time these people act like they care about other people of color, the reality is that they don't. They don't care about other people.
Today I got called a white person. You were there, buddy. You saw it. Today on Twitter, I got called a white person.
Oh yeah, I saw
by
it.
a
Yeah.
by a Black lady, and she searched for pictures of me on my Twitter to say, "Hey, I see a white person here," and I was like, "No, I'm Latin American. I'm
right."
Not
So oh, go ahead, please.
No, she kept insisting. That's the thing. She kept saying, "No, I can't be sure about that." Bitch, I don't need to explain my heritage to you. If I say I'm not white, I'm not white. You fucking moron.
This is so strange. Like, they call like Hispanic Black or white nowadays. It's just so bizarre to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know white Hispanic and Black Hispanic was
until
thing.
this fucking douchebag said so.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yes.
One's white, one's black. Or rather, one's black and one is not black.
So if it's wait, I'm really confused. So if it's light skinned, it's never mind.
Yeah, just don't think much about it. It just doesn't make any sense.
So
Your brain will fry.
I did get some information from the chat. Erdania, who's one of my patrons and also is moderating the chat for us. Thank you very much, Erdania. Sent me this, and I actually remember this now. So Chad accuses French charity of child trafficking. This is back in 2007. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was a plane that was hired to get 103 children out of Chad. They were orphans. The charity claimed as Operation Child Rescue sought to save the lives of Darfur orphans aged between 1 and 10 by housing them with families in France who had paid to basically take them in as refugees and adopt them. And the president said that this is child trafficking, and that is a completely illegal operation. Now, they did get in trouble for it because they did not go through the international situation, But
Okay.
I mean,
So no one can prove that there was child trafficking.
yeah. Well, I mean, like the thing is like it's Chad, and Chad is not necessarily. And Chad does not necessarily have like the bureaucratic infrastructure to be able to determine whether something like this would be illegal or not. It's just pretty much
Okay.
one of those situations where like the what is he? Is it president? I guess he's a president. Whatever the fuck he is. Yeah, president. Idris Deby Itno was basically like, well, this is illegal in child trafficking, so it was. Because he said so.
Okay, I see, I see.
So that's
So
why.
there may not have been actual child trafficking, but the president said so, so it is.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, Daniel.
On an educational front, there's a spiritual warfare, there's a medical warfare, there's a prison industrial warfare, and there's an economic warfare being imposed on people of color, especially in America.
Yes, because there are no white poor people, there are no white homos, there are no
They're basically saying that everybody seems to be off because of the whole entire system, when in fact there are people that make their own choices. The reason why they're in certain situations.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, they can pay for graphics this time.
If you want to convince a group of people that everything about them is negative, what you have to do is tell them where they're from is a negative place, and this is what they've done to black people.
Here we go.
They say, black people, you're negative, you're bad, because Africa is negative, and Africa is bad.
No.
Not all black people are from Africa.
So I guess we can say fuck humanitarian efforts, right?
Yeah.
Basically.
Fucking unbelievable.
Humanitarian efforts don't exist because Africa is an amazing place where nothing bad happens.
Yeah, and I'm sure they go on with exposing like the reason why we expose this type of atmosphere in Africa, like the poor, the people that living in poverty, that we shouldn't help them. It's absolutely absurd. I'm sure they're going to go into that diatribe.
I mean, does anybody?
Well,
honestly...
you know what?
Oh, please.
I'm sorry. Well, you know what? They do actually do that. They do actually, get on people, white people, for going to Africa and helping people. I actually had one of my friends in college. She wrote an article about how she had so much white privilege in Africa that therefore she really shouldn't have been serving in Africa. And she, you know what? Yes, I'm serious. Yes.
What?
She goes to she was at my college. My college is a Christian college, so obviously she'd be doing some sort of missionary work. But she went there talking about how she really shouldn't have been there because she's white. And I just kind of sat there and I didn't say anything to her. I usually don't say anything to my Facebook friends because a lot of them are progressives. But I just sat there and thought, just don't go back. Because since you have such a negative attitude of going, just don't go back. You're not helping anybody by sitting there saying, I have so much white privilege, I really shouldn't have been there. Well, it's because of your privilege that you should be there to help people, not wallow in your own misery.
Jesus.
Talk about white guilt.
That was major white guilt. A lot of my friends have white guilt. It's crazy.
Oh, God.
That we have of Africa, we always see the underbelly. We always see the propaganda. We always
propaganda
see the warfare, but they never show the other side.
One of the things that I've discovered about
Then go and fucking fix it.
Yeah, Tariq, you have a lot of money. Go do something.
Yeah, does anybody honestly believe that Tariq has been to West Africa? Like,
they probably haven't at all.
If he's gone to Africa, it was probably as like a PR campaign. He went to like Kenya or maybe Ethiopia or something, Nigeria, somewhere where there's actually like really, really good spots of civilization, really amazing cultural heritage to go and experience and that sort of thing. I do not see Tariq Nasheed driving through Liberia or Sierra Leone or any of them fucking crazy ass West African countries. No way. Fuck that.
No way.
I mean, it's what.
Nah, dude. America's America, right? And Africa is Africa. You cannot compare the two at all. And if you have a problem with the way Africa is perceived in America or anywhere else, change it. Go do something about it. Don't fucking sit here and fucking whine about it. You fucking bitch. Go. Fix it. Make it better.
Well, that's what Tariq does. Tariq doesn't help anyone. Like, I've never, ever heard of Tariq giving a charity. I've never heard of him going to Africa to help these people. And, I mean, it's basically like he pretends that there's really nothing wrong with Africa. I'm sure he knows that there's a lot of stuff wrong with Africa. But, you know, this kind of like, everyone says Africa is bad. No, we know not all of Africa is bad, but we do know that it's a broken continent with many different people and has extreme issues over there. They don't have a high HIV/AIDS rate for no reason. They don't have a high, you know, and I'm not saying this as a joke, I'm saying it seriously. They don't have a high, you know, violence and murder rate. If people don't die at the age of 40 for no reason, it's because they need help. And that's like the national average, that people die in their middle ages. And I never see Tariq doing anything about this. He just sits there and bitches about it. I never see him say anything. I mean, that bothers me, that he never goes there and helps anyone or gives or anything. But he's
arrogant piece of shit.
He's extremely arrogant. You know.
Let's go hang signs up in front of his house and throw pies at him or something.
I think it's pretty safe to say.
Well, if you wrote something like "Go to Africa,"
I mean, the Amazing Atheist has probably done more for Africa than Tariq Nasheed. He at least did that fucking, like, you know, drinking water charity. They raised a shit ton of money to bring drinking water to, like, the most hellish places on the fucking earth. So if a fat, slovenly, like, angsty fucking atheist can do more than you, Tariq, how much do you actually care about the plight of your people? Fuck you.
That's kind of sad, really.
Is that most conquered people have had their ancestral memory erased, and they only know what missionaries or enslavers have taught them, and usually it's negative.
What the fuck?
There
Wait.
is good, there is bad, there
wait. Is he calling, like, current white people enslavers?
I think he is. I think he actually is, yeah.
Or if your history is taught by enslavers, you're not going to know your real history. So it's all been kept from them. So this is all secret shit they've figured out because the
yes, because they don't let them understand and learn the real potential they have. Remember from the first movie? They don't let us know and understand.
Because everybody's black.
Yeah. Fuck my life. That's the you stopped it well.
Yeah.
Look at his notes.
I know.
What the fuck is he
like
wearing?
so before this guy had stolen like Native American dress style. Now he's got like this Che Guevara style beret thing going on with a doily like stitched to his jacket. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Oh, dude, I thought my glasses were dirty.
Yeah, no. He's wearing a doily on his shoulder.
Okay, somebody in the chat actually made a good point. Like, someone in the chat said that the PewDiePie raised money for charity in Africa too, yet he's a racist. So what did he say?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes,
Dude,
charity water. Yeah, I remember.
Dude, yeah, I know. No, PewDiePie does. PewDiePie does a lot of charities.
Brownies do more charity than this motherfucker. Have you searched for that? Have you searched for the number of like charities that have been in the name of brownies? I'm not kidding. There's a shit ton of them.
Sure.
They donate a lot of money. So even brownies.
I'm gonna look up.
More than him.
I'm gonna look up and see later after we're done with all this, if I'm still sober, if Tariq actually has done any philanthropy. Because if he hasn't, if I've actually done more for poor black children with some of my charities than him, I'm gonna fucking rub it in his face. Like, I'll make a whole video on it just to piss him off.
There's advancement and there is a lack of advancement in all cultures. The problem is that this society tends to want to show you the extended belly of a baby in Ethiopia. It wants to show you the negativity of Africa.
No, because they
Fuck.
I think Africa.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck.
In Asia and Guatemala, Southern America, these places were all jungle. Jungle came after the invasions of European colonialism. Then the jungles came in. Nobody was.
What? The jungles of Guatemala happened because of colonizers? What the fuck?
Dude, I have to dab now. I can't do this. I gotta dab. What the fuck?
Oh my god! I wish I smoked weed and I would fucking do that too. Jesus.
Right? You'd feel so much better. I promise.
Oh my god. All I'm gonna do is get drunk and angry.
I wish I could drink.
Manning the land anymore.
Look at the map. Just this map tells you alone that the great majority of Africa is grassland. It shows you right here. It's grassland. No jungle. In fact, the Everglades, by proportion, there's more jungle in the Everglades than there is proportionately in Africa. And that's in Florida.
It's actually a fact, guys. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like Africa has one of the smallest jungles in America. So.
Okay.
South America has the largest. So. Yeah, they don't have the largest. We're not even close to the largest. So. Yeah, he's right.
The white man didn't make jungles in Florida. Duh.
There's more jungle in Europe and in Asia than there is in Africa.
Are you insane?
I don't know what the point means, but whatever.
There's more jungle in Europe than Africa. What are you talking about?
I mean, he might
Well,
be.
it's true, but I don't know what his point is or what he's going to get to. So.
Right, yeah. Fucking Jesus.
Some of the most beautiful animal kingdoms in the world. But most of Africa is not jungle. There's more jungle on the other continents than there is in Africa. In fact, you have vast greenlands in Africa, miles, tens of thousands of miles of nothing but flat, beautiful green land.
Okay. Images of Africa.
Okay.
And
they like to show the hunter-gatherers, the bushmen, the brothers running around half naked with sticks. And that really represents about 1% of the whole population of Africa.
Citation.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
What the fuck? Okay.
You have those same hunter-gatherer people up in Europe. There's a group of people called the Sami people who live just like that, who live in mud huts.
And what's the point?
Yeah.
Okay. So?
Okay.
Live that hunter-gatherer experience, but you never see any kind of mention of them in the media.
Ah, there it is.
You only see the African bushmen, but you never see the rest of the whole continent and see how people are really living over there.
So the Sami tribe is indicative of how everyone lives over there?
So we should worry about humanitarian efforts in the Sami tribe, right? So we can note them more in on major media outlets. Okay.
I guess so.
I guess so. Yeah. Right. Fuck humanitarian efforts. I'm like, this is what I'm getting in a lot of these parts.
And movies, old cartoons from back in the 1920s and 30s, they would always show the cannibalistic African person.
But they're not African. They're fucking native.
1920s is not now. Okay? 1920s is in the past. It's not now.
Well, there's still
not even African.
cannibalism.
They're fucking native in those movies.
There is still cannibalism in Africa today. So
yeah,
I love it when Prince gets riled up.
I know.
I screamed too much. I'm sorry.
No, it's awesome.
Putting in missionaries, cooking them and eating them. And that's a major myth about Africa because there's no evidence of any kind of cannibalism going on.
No.
Oh my god.
listen, should we get a Mad Dog from Car Africa on here and talk about cannibalism? In 2013 where he ate a Muslim. We can do that if we want. Let's get Mad Dog in here.
What, really?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that?
No.
Yeah, the sectarian. Well, I made a couple of videos about this in 2013. Yeah, there was a cannibalism in Car Africa with the Christians, where there was sectarian violence between the religious sects and Muslims and Christians fighting each other in Car Africa, which is still going on today. And yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a video and also pictures of this guy, they call him Mad Dog, where he was actually holding up a leg of a person, a Muslim, where he was eating it. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my god.
And it still continues today. It started in the 1700s. I researched all this shit. And so in 1700s, it started. Yeah, of course, there are white tribes. There's other tribes, other ethnicities that have, been known to be cannibalism. It started in the Lesser Antilles, or at least the first accounts of cannibalism started in the Lesser Antilles. And it goes white culture, black culture. But today it's very prominent that it's a fact that it still happens in certain tribes in Africa. So
what region of Africa is it in right now?
I could research it if you want. I haven't researched it in years, but I know that.
Is this cannibalism a cultural thing or a religious thing? Is
I
there
think it's
what is the background of it?
I think it's both.
Because I mean, he knows that the only cannibalism he really needs to do, if he's a Christian, he just has to drink the blood of Christ. Like that's it.
Right.
So.
All right, here we go. It's Wikipedia. Cannibalism is an act of practice eating human flesh. People of the Lesser Antilles, which were cannibalism, where the word cannibalism derives from, following the recording of their legends in 17th century. It started. And 19th century, in some isolated South Pacific cultures, it happened. And to the present day in parts of tropical Africa, yeah.
Tropical. So I guess that'd be like Congolese area.
It's not saying here. I'm trying to find out here. Congo, yeah.
Yeah, that calls it.
Amazon basin to the Congo,
Yeah,
and also in New Zealand. Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it with New Zealand.
So I wonder if Muslims eat Christians and if they consider the Christians halal or not.
I don't know.
Actually, it says there's accounts in Colombia too.
Wow.
Yeah, I think wasn't the Green Inferno was supposed to be filmed
in Colombia?
I think it was supposed to be like it was either Colombia or it was one of the northern countries of South America, but it was like a remote tribe.
Yeah, they basically wanted to do that because they wanted to make it a throwback to Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, which
and here's something on Africa. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you guys off. Cannibalism has been reported in several recent African conflicts, including the Second Congo War and the wars in Liberia and Sierra Leone. UN human rights expert reported in July 2007.
Oh, we know Sierra Leone because the
Congolese woman.
Oh, please go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. It was due to a reference to a Congolese woman. So sorry.
Gotcha. Yeah, no. One of the sons of a warlord in Sierra Leone was rumored to be a cannibal, and I think there's actually supposed to be some like African despot right now that is rumored to have consumed the flesh of his enemies.
Yeah.
That's pretty metal.
Yeah,
But-
dude, metal as fuck. How do you get people to not
Metal
fuck
as
with
fuck.
you? Motherfucker's a cannibal.
They eat the flesh of your.
Damn.
He'll fucking eat you.
I look it up, and Green Inferno was recorded on Peru and Chile.
Was where?
Peru.
Oh, in
Chile.
Peru. Okay. Oh, okay. I was way off then. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right. Woke time.
Cannibalism in Africa. In fact, if you read a book called Maneater, there's more references to Europeans eating each other in the cold
Everybody eating each
than
other.
there is Africans eating
It's
each
not
other
just
in the warmth.
a fucking white
Why are you
thing.
going to have a need to eat each other when the
happens
Creator and
everywhere.
the Son has given you mango and peanuts and food to eat?
Because of
that
starvation in Africa.
Plentifully.
Stupid. Oh my
Right.
god.
Jesus fucking Christ.
There's no evidence of it, but again, to denigrate Africa and Africans, they have to create an image that people are going to shy away from.
There's so
Like
many
the image you're doing
fallacies
right
about it.
now? Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Exactly.
The terrible wardrobe choice.
African people and African history and culture. And cannibalism is one example. Based on my study, I found more evidence of cannibalism practiced among Europeans in Virginia in the 1600s. There are documented cases of the first settlers coming to Virginia from England, coming here in fall and in the dead of winter, and not having enough supplies to see them through that season. So there's documented instances of people exhuming the bodies of the dead. And
They're basically trying to say
There's
that only white people
there's
can
one-
be cannibals and blacks cannot be cannibals. That's what they're just saying.
It happened everywhere. This is not
So-
a argument.
particular instance, I forget the gentleman's name, but actually I read this in the National Geographic magazine about a man whose wife died and he kept her death a secret so that he could eat her corpse and survive the winter.
The
That's so
cannibalism is
hot.
going on in
Yummy.
That's hot. That's fucking hot.
I have a friend of mine.
Go
She's full-blooded Inuit, and she comes from she's the first. Her mom moved out of the tribe to become effectively westernized. So she's the first born into a Western, lifestyle of her tribe ever. But she still stayed in contact, and they're really fucking remote, and they eat their dead. They just do. Like grandma dies, and you basically take the choice cuts and you cook it up, and you it's part of like the burying ritual. So
Yeah.
Holy
Definitely.
fuck.
Yep. Sure.
And she told me all about it. She's like, yeah, I had a couple of bites of grandma. It's part of tradition. It's just part of our heritage. It's to take our ancestors with us. And I asked her how it tasted, and she was like, I was too young. I don't remember. She was like 4 or something. So
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Jeff. You just remind me of the Family Guy episode. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Where they were eating a girl in the fucking jungle.
Actually, human meat isn't even tasty. Like, it's actually not too tasty.
I don't know.
But I don't know, man. I mean, when you look from our perspective, it seems fucking weird. But for them, it's like natural. It's the same as there was this tribe in Africa. I don't remember the name. That the first time their daughters have sex, they have it with their fathers. But it's not because they're pieces of shit. It's because it's like a loving ritual, They want their first time to be with someone that will protect them, that will take care of them.
Oh my God.
It's like something cute or something. And it's crazy, but for them it's like super adorable, So I don't know, it's weird. The world is weird, man. The world is fucking weird.
Tyler, take the remote. I gotta use the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Are you going to puke?
Maybe. I don't know.
That was fucking gross, Prince. Appreciate it.
That is fucking gross.
Yeah.
Europe, big time.
I'm so
There's a lot
sorry.
of evidence showing the cannibalism that was going on in Europe. As a matter of fact, this whole vampire phenomenon that we have is rooted in the cannibalism.
Vlad the Impaler, he's gonna say, right? I'm
Yep.
telling you right now, right? Is he?
Yep.
I'm sure.
What's going on in
It's
Europe
always a
in
reference.
the Middle Ages. One of the most famous vampires, Dracula, Count Dracula, is really based on a real person named Vlad Dracula, who's also known
Yes,
as
I
Vlad
knew it.
the Impaler. And there's a very famous portrait of Vlad the Impaler from around 1499, sometime
Oh,
in the
don't say he was black. I'm gonna punch your face. Don't say he was black.
No, he's trying to say that it's white people that do the cannibalism. So
Oh,
showing him and these people that he impaled on the stake. But they only show half of this portrait, because when you pan out of this portrait, you will see Vlad the Impaler literally at a dinner table eating the body parts. And I mean, he has
no,
knife,
no,
forks.
you're wrong. You're fucking wrong. He ate in front of the people that were impaled as a torture for them. He didn't eat them. He didn't eat them. It was just a sadistic shit he did, but it wasn't eating them. He just ate in front of them and bathed in front of them and read in front of them. It was a torture.
So in this picture, you don't notice him eating the fetus on his plate?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm
Salt
kidding,
and
of
pepper
course.
like he's at Applebee's or Denny's or something.
He's like, hey, he's eating at Denny's, yeah. I need a big burger here. Come on, man.
You have to remember at the time, Isabella, or the queen at the time,
Queen
put
Isabella,
a
yeah.
bounty on slaves. And part of the edict that she sent out was anyone or any of the people that you catch who are cannibals, you can enslave them. So now everybody would say, okay, they were cannibals.
Another myth about Africa is that it's extremely violent. Whenever we see
Oh my God.
Really?
Oh.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna.
It's violent. I don't know what he means by extreme, but yeah, it's violent. Yeah. I know to one car Africa, of course, but anyway.
Yeah.
anything about Africa, especially movies and the news, we always see the African warlord. We always see the...
That's because there are African warlords there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's happening.
The African rebels.
We don't intervene.
Trucks, the African rebels with rocket launchers and machine guns. So what they do, the Western media, they'll take footage of a war-torn area And the footage might even be old. They'll get old footage and show war-torn areas of Africa.
Old footage, or new footage that they could possibly shoot.
I want him to go there and investigate it before he claims that it's old footage.
Well,
or
what was
it's
that
not real
big? What was
footage.
that big thing in Africa that a few years ago? What was that Coney? Was that guy? Coney?
Coney, yes. Coney 2012.
Yeah, that guy.
They
That was
did
in the
with
media.
Coney
I was
2012
right.
propaganda not
Coney.
too long ago. And they'll try to pretend that this is what all of Africa is like. But
I don't think
only- it's
anybody
only
is saying
remember.
like everybody's like in Africa like that. I think people are saying that there are some parts in Africa that are like that.
in reality,
Yeah, some, not all, of course. Yeah. Hashtag not all. Do we have to say that here? Come on.
out of the top 10 countries around the world with the lowest violent crime rates, 6 of those countries are in Africa.
Okay.
And yeah, exactly. And
It doesn't excuse the violence in the other parts.
Like
Yeah.
Senegal, Cameroon, Mali. A lot lot don't know that.
does he want to talk about America?
No.
Oh, okay.
Of course not.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. That's current. Let's talk about that. No. Of course. Okay. Let's move on now.
In an attempt for Western powers and European historians to distance Africa from Egypt, because they try to pretend that Egypt and the rest of Africa is totally different. So what?
Of course they're not different. Of course not.
What they did, they created something called the Sub-Saharan African, meaning that the Africans below the Sahara Desert were somehow disconnected from the Africans in the north. Africans have always interacted with each other all over Africa.
No.
Africans have always
Jesus Christ, no.
moved
He's
around
already
Africa.
hearing and he's saying no.
No. Jesus Christ. No. Just no. Just no.
He's so-
Jesus Christ.
Even the Sahara Desert, it was not always a desert, number one. Number two, the Nile River goes from North Africa right into Southern Africa. So if they wanted to go back and forth from North Africa to Southern Africa, they can just take the Nile River.
Now, one of the things we have to be concerned about is the concerted effort to take Egypt out of Africa. And so many times when people speak of Africa, they exclude Egypt. And I think in many...
What? Like, I don't know a single person that excludes Egypt from African.
No.
Like, nobody. Like, who would actually do that?
Jesus fucking Christ.
people I think would agree with me. Many of my colleagues and contemporaries, they would say that excluding Egypt from Africa would be like taking Greece and Rome out of Europe.
What?
But nobody does that. Nobody does that. Nobody
They're like,
excludes Egypt from
they're like
Africa.
obviously talking about people who must be very uneducated. Like, who are the people they're talking to? Because they must be very uneducated.
Like, holy fuck. Like, unless you have, like, a low education, how can you exclude Egypt from Africa?
Right.
Like, I remember when I was really little and I thought Egypt must be part of Asia because they speak Arabian and shit. But then you grow up and learn shit and go to school, and then it's not there. It's Africa. But Jesus.
I mean, like there's if you take an ethnically Northern European, an ethnically Southern African, and then you take anybody from the Mediterranean, and I mean fucking anybody from any of the fucking countries ringing the fucking Mediterranean, that's three distinct fucking differences right there. So like, yes, it is part of Africa. But I mean, it depends on like the context that you're talking about. Like full-blooded Greeks, like ethnic Greeks, do not look like fucking people from Norway.
Mm-hmm.
They just fucking don't at all.
It's just a huge void.
Our modern Egyptian. I didn't read.
Yeah, what did that say? I didn't catch
Yeah,
that.
well, hold on, I'm gonna rewind it.
Thank you.
Even the Sahara Desert, it was not always they're running scams, they're running game on.
Well, that's too far.
Even the Sahara Desert, it was not always a desert, number one.
Oh, God.
Number two,
try there, yeah.
The Nile River goes from North Africa.
They do not know. Would say.
There we go.
Egypt from Africa
Okay, there
would
it
be like
is.
taking Greece and Rome out of Europe. It's just a huge void.
Pause.
Are modern
Are modern Egyptians descendants of the ancient
Egyptians?
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, here we go. Play it.
The more south you go, the more African-centered you'll get. As you move more north, their attachment to those structures are just not there. There's a lot of reasons why that happens, just in terms of they know it's not them. They know it's not their mindset. They know that they want to exploit it, but they do not know it. It is not part of them. They are an invading force. For them to be in Egypt today is equivalent to Europeans claiming America of 3,000 years ago.
No.
Oh, no.
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 Are they saying that because they're not their stereotypical African thing that they suddenly like not Africans anymore or something?
I don't know.
Pretty much.
Why
I'm trying to.
Because it sounded like he was complaining that Africans, it kind of sounded like he's like, well, those Northern Africans have lost their Africanness because they've traded with the Europeans and the Greeks and whatnot. Like that's what it sounds like.
Can we rewind that for like a minute? Because
Yeah.
I'm trying to comprehend what he was trying to say here. Because
Right.
he mentions American 3,000 years. Come on, it's like wow, really?
Right, like 19.
Even the Sahara
And he
Desert
shows
was not
Muslims. I'm
always
trying to
a
figure
desert,
this out.
number one. Number two, the Nile River goes from North Africa right into Southern Africa. So if they wanted to go back and forth from North Africa to Southern Africa, they can just take the Nile River.
Now, one of the things we have to be concerned about is the concerted effort to take Egypt out of Africa.
Okay.
And so many times when people speak of Africa, they exclude Egypt. And I think, and many people I think would agree with me, many of my colleagues and contemporaries, they would say that excluding Egypt from Africa would be like taking Greece and Rome out of Europe. It's just a huge void.
God, I wish I could smoke
The more
weed.
south you go, the more African-centered you'll get. As you move more north, their attachment to those structures are just not there. There's a lot of reasons why that happens, just in terms of they know it's not them. They know it's not their mindset. They know that they want to exploit it, but they do not know it. It is not part of them.
Okay.
They are
Hey,
invading.
yeah, who deciphers someone's
Who decides
mindset?
who decides what is African?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, you're right. Yeah, go ahead.
that's what he's saying. He's saying the farther you go south, the more African you get. But who decides what is African? That's what he's saying. This is like that's that stereotypical mindset. Like who decides what's black? Who decides what's white? Who decides what's African? What is the cutoff of someone having their African roots? Like what's the cutoff?
Yeah, and who decides your mindset? Be
Right.
it race, ethnicity, religion. Who decides your mindsets? So are you saying one mindset needs to be this, that other mindsets can't be this, and you can't live in Africa, so on and so forth? It's just an odd statement to really make. You know, he's talking about a mindset, and
Right.
he's trying to gather information to be a collective, just in one mindset. And it's just Egypt. Yeah, well, they should be part of Africa. I'm like, it's just absolute bullshit. It's it's how
sorry.
to live. It's like it's cultural, you know.
Right. I think
So-
he's a bit bothered that, like, he's not saying it right now, but I think that he's kind of bothered that people in Egypt no longer identify with like this traditional Africanness, whatever he's talking about, because they did trade with the Greeks. They did have a lot of influence from the Greeks. And so I think like he's trying to say, well, kind of like whites destroyed, Africa, or destroyed, not Africa, but destroyed the Africanness in Egypt. Like, I think that's where he's going.
I guess so.
I can't pinpoint my finger on it, but I
I'm trying
swear
to
that's where he's
understand
coming
everything.
from.
Like I cannot really comprehend what he's saying. Really.
Well,
I'm actually lost.
Wasn't Egypt? I think centuries ago. I don't know what year it was or what century it was, but wasn't it primarily Christians back in the day, and then during the Muslim migration? Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm going back to 11th, 7th, or 11th, 12th century. I'm like, something's hit me right now.
Maybe.
I think.
Why is
I'm
Egypt so
trying to think.
special? What about
Christianity.
Libya?
Yeah.
Assholes.
That's more recent, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would have to
For them
research that
be
point.
in Egypt today is equivalent to Europeans claiming America of 3,000 years ago.
And yeah, so that was the point that I wanted to make. It's like trying to compare America to Europe 2,000 years ago doesn't make any fucking sense. If you were trying to compare like northeastern Asia to North America 3,000 years ago, like that'd be at least a little bit closer genetically speaking, but that's still like a massive gap of tens of thousands of years. So like, no, nobody's gonna make that comparison. That's stupid.
Even morally speaking, yeah.
Yeah.
And they could care less about those temples because, number one, they didn't build them. And from an Islamic perspective, they really wouldn't like to see them in existence. The reason they're there is
Wait, how did we jump to
No,
Muslim?
that is so true, though.
How did we jump to Muslim so quickly?
I don't know.
Nation of Islam's gonna be pissed off.
Is he talking about how the nation of that ISIS is like destroying statues or something?
Yeah,
Is that what he's talking
exactly.
about?
Exactly. He's talking about ISIS.
How did he jump to that so fast?
well, that's a fact between the different sects of Islam is that one, of course, the jihadists out there, especially in Northern Africa and also in the Middle East, certain like Iraq and Syria, they're destroying libraries of ancient, historical value when it comes to this literature that has been known. It's been relevant, I guess, in their culture. And it's known that ISIS is destroying these pictures, these images, these statues, these libraries, the literature.
Yeah.
They're just destroying it. And this is, hopefully it's archived, on the internet, which I'm sure a lot of it's not. And I'm sure they're going to get to that point, I think. But yeah, I'm like, this is, I guess point that he's making, it's relevant to a certain point. But yeah, I'm like, this is a well-known fact, especially in the last few decades, with jihadist groups. They're just destroying history. And it's sad. It really is sad because
It really is.
Well, go ahead.
I mean, every time I see a picture of one of the things that they've destroyed, it honestly hurts my heart.
Yeah,
because that's so much stuff that we could have learned from that they found and destroyed. They destroyed something. There was one that really, really hurt me kind of deeply. Was I believe they destroyed something that they believe it had to do with Abraham, some sort of tomb. And they destroyed it. And I mean, that honestly hurt me deeply because, that could have been something that people could have looked at and have been able to test and, do all the carbon dating and whatnot to just know more about it. And they went up and destroyed it. It was quite awful.
Yeah.
Because they are a moneymaker for the Egyptian government. Let's be clear. A lot of the Egyptians that are there in Egypt now, they're invaders. They came later on down the line.
Oh, fuck.
I knew that was coming.
I knew that was coming too.
Oh, here we go.
Crazy.
They ain't kings.
The ancient Egyptians. They're not connected to the ancient Egyptians, and they know that. When they're over there, they don't respect the ancient monuments as their own. Like when you go to the mosque over there, they respect the mosque. They're not.
You cannot compare a
No, they
mosque. You cannot compare a mosque to a fucking statue.
No, they don't. I'm like Zarqawi back in 2006, I think 2005. He destroyed one of the biggest mosques in Syria. Come on, don't give me this shit that they don't destroy this shit, man. This is absolutely, it's false.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I'm like, they destroy fucking mosques all the time.
They're not selling things in front of the mosque, but when you go to the pyramids and you go to the museums, you go to the Sphinx, people, they're out there hustling.
Oh my God, is this guy fucking retarded? It's because it's idolatry. It's forbidden in Islam. Polytheism. Fucking duh.
Yep.
Sorry.
All you things, they're smoking cigarettes, they're out there running scams, they're
Cigarettes
running games.
I don't believe cigarettes are against Muslim law. It's alcohol that's against Muslim law.
Alcohol is cigarettes, I think, are totally fine.
And
exactly.
Smoking in certain, theocracies.
Smoking's not haram.
In some sects, smoking is.
Yes, some sects are, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Don't they have how is this called? The thing that you smoke that is like a bottle.
The hookah?
My sister has one.
Hookah,
Yeah, my sister has one of those.
That reminds me, my buddy Goatman over in the UAE is supposed to be sending me some great fucking UAE tobacco. I gotta remind him of that. I want that shit. That sounds great.
Now I I have some Arab friends, my husband's Arab coworkers. We sometimes go down to a goat farm they're actually sheep. He has a couple goats, but we go to a goat farm. I call them goats. And
'Cause they're
I
Muslim?
no, not because he does have he does have some goats, but they're mostly sheep, and I like going to the sheep goat farm. I don't know why I call them goats, but so we go there, and there was this one time that we walked there. All the guys, all the men had gone to the goat farm, and they're all Muslim. Every single one of them, devout Muslims. They all went to the farm to go drink beer, and we caught them, and we said, "You're drinking beer?" And they were they were like, "Don't tell my wife and stuff." Don't tell
Man.
They were saying, "Don't tell my wife," because they were drinking beer at the goat farm. And alcohol is haram. Some of them don't even sell alcohol in their stores because it's haram. And here they were drinking beer. It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can't take this shit seriously anymore. After you made that fucking joke.
It's not. I mean, I'm sure. A lot of them are from Pakistan and whatnot, and I'm sure when they were in Pakistan, they had a lot of goats. But these were sheep. He picked sheep for some reason instead of goats. And where I live, goats are pretty popular. So I don't know why the heck he picked sheep. Who picks sheep? Come on.
We know this picture?
Yes, well, let me see that. What was that? Hold on.
Mr. Obama.
That's Barack Obama?
Obama was
No, that's funny. That's funny.
Barack Obama. What is he showing? Wait, I don't know.
He's got a picture of Obama in his wallet.
Yeah, that's.
And
is that supposed to prove something?
And what? I don't get it.
What was your father?
Yeah, in the Panorama Place.
And there's Tariq.
I knew it. I knew it.
So he went to what, Egypt, I guess that is, or wherever that is. Where
So he went to a touristic place of Egypt to go look at the pyramids, and that apparently is activism. Going to the most touristy part of Africa in the whole.
Well, it is
freaking
Africa,
world.
the most liberal part of fucking Africa.
Right, the most liberal touristic part.
Exactly right.
And did you
Amazing.
like see his smug face, like the smug, just a little triggly smug or something? Did you see his? Did you see his smug face after?
You
He's like, yeah, I just totally proved a point.
You see this invader? You see this invader on his camel with the picture of Barack Obama in my homeland.
That little smirk. You got to go back to his smirk. That was funny.
I mean, yeah, you got to show his
1
smirk
second.
again, like just to see his little
wasn't
puffer
that far.
face.
Like got you.
Yeah.
It's the got you look.
Yeah. For right there.
Obama was my father.
Barack Obama was your father?
Yeah, in the Panorama Place.
Right now. Look at that.
Look at that face. I swear to God, you can put a caption that says "I'm a dick," like right there.
We should, man. Screen cap that, people. Screen cap that and post it to Twitter, man.
Yeah, screen caps, memes, please.
Screen cap that.
Memes, please, guys.
Okay,
Memes that shit.
audience, people in the comments, listen right now. You need to screen cap this and make memes of it. We will post it. If you send it to us, we'll post it on Twitter, and we'll even tag Tariq in them.
Wait, just hashtag it. Make a hashtag right now. Do it.
Hashtag Tariq face.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tariq face.
Smug Tariq.
Hashtag smug Tariq.
There we go.
Hashtag on my homeland or something.
Hashtag Obama was my daddy.
Right. Oh wait, no. Wait. I got one.
All right, what's it?
Hashtag I have a loot.
Wow. All right, I'll leave this up for a minute. What's the hashtag now? People got to post to. Come on, let's. Yeah, this would be funny. I like this.
Obama was his dad.
I don't think so, but
No.
Let's
Okay.
let's just do smug Tariq. Smug Tariq.
Okay.
Smug Tariq.
Smug Tariq. Smug
Hashtag
Tariq.
Smug Tariq. All right.
Seriously though, somebody put I have a loot on there. I want to keep it.
Yeah.
Patty.
Yeah.
Patty, I had like the funny. I'm stoned, so I think things are really funny that aren't. But I had the funniest joke about loot, loot insurance. Like I was gonna make some kind of joke about loot insurance, and it just like I forgot. It was like the funniest thing I could think. I started laughing. I laughed for ages about it, and now I don't remember what it was.
Loot insurance. Loot insurance isn't in itself is funny. Hey guys, I got some loot insurance. You want some? Nah, man, I got loot insurance.
Yes, it breaks, or I don't know. Dude, it was so funny, and now I can't remember. God.
I want to know who that girl next to him is because obviously there's a melanin difference. What are you doing? She's a lot less melanated than Tariq is. Why are you hanging out with her, Tariq?
He's committing black genocide right now.
He's committing black genocide. Why aren't you with one of those pretty dark brown girls?
Black genocide.
I'll be back in a couple minutes, man. I'm gonna make my Tariq meme here.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Oh wait. No. You see his glasses? His glasses has melanin into it. Those dark shades use melanin to block out the sun.
Oh my god.
Oh god damn.
When the white scientists go into the temples of Kemet to excavate and clean up the walls and temples and make them visitable and inhabitable, they are changing the color of the actual paintings of the Africans on the wall. There was an entire report that came out how the scientific excavators...
He did say visitable, by the way.
Visitable.
He did. Visitable.
Tried to excuse that. But now he's talking about changing the color of the paintings.
Temples of Kemet were lightening up the images on the wall, the Medu Neter. So you have black images, and they're using chemicals that actually turn...
Wait.
No! They're cleaning it. Oh.
Like, if you're gonna claim that they're gonna, lighten up the images, at least provide the original image before and after.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like when
How
I
does
see
he even know?
when I see that image of a black guy painting the wall, why would a brown guy mess up? Change the image. Like that didn't help me at all. I really wish they provide citations in this movie because they just don't. And it kind of bothers me because I'd like to know some of this stuff that they're getting it from, but they don't provide anything for me to look.
Right. Yeah.
No sources, yeah.
The black image tan.
Professor Smalls told me when he went to study over there, he said the reason why we over here in the West are so caught up with ancient Kemet is because the seeds of Kemet, after Kemet was destroyed, all were driven to the south and to the west of Africa. And during the time of the slave trade, the strangers were the ones that they gave up first. So the people who actually are the ones that were brought over here were the remnants from ancient Kemet. They
No. What the fuck?
Who is Kemet? I'm sorry. Does anybody know?
Kemet is the name for ancient Africa. That's
okay.
That's the traditional name for ancient Africa. That's the one that.
Yeah, that's like the name for like
Egypt.
Yep.
How long does it go back? Does anybody know? Or?
It goes back pretty. I think it is. I believe it is a real term.
Okay.
Just look up ancient Kemet and Wikipedia has it.
This is so fucking crazy. He's trying to basically...
Joe's screaming. He's like, no.
He's trying to make... I am, dude. I am. He's trying to basically make this drawn correlation between the kings and queens of Africa somehow were moved over to West Africa, where they were then enslaved and brought over to America. The problem with this is that the distance that's traveled through damn near impassable terrains of fucking 5 different geographical types, most of which are just god-awful to traverse, is more than the distance from Maine to California. And somehow, rather than people like settling down, there was this mass migration of people across the... What the fuck?
The weird part about this is like they never speak of other forms of slavery that has happened. Even right before, slavery happened in America. When you look at the Arabs and Muslims in Africa, they had slaves too. So did blacks. Blacks had slaves too. I'm like, there were slave owners in America. I'm like, this is but just to demonize that whites are responsible for slavery is it's an absurd claim. I'm like, it was bad. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but
You have brain damage from not enough melanin, Joe.
yeah, I'm sure.
It's just so weird to like. It would seriously be like somebody saying there was this historical group in like Panama, Central America, and then by the way, they were magically transported over to like California. Just because, just randomly, just because, and then and then this thing happened to them, and that's why they're here. Like, it just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right. I don't understand. I'm sorry. I don't understand their infatuation with wanting to be related, or just even be related to the ancient Egyptians on at that royal status.
Right.
They were slave owners. They were cruel to non-Egyptians. They regularly put people into slums, such as the Hebrews. And they practice in rampant incest. King Tut had like some of the worst deformities because his parents were brother and sister.
Yep.
So I don't understand why people seek to. I understand the label king and queen. Everybody wants to be a king and a queen. I totally understand that. But this infatuation with wanting to be those people who are well known for being some of the worst of society, some of the cruelest people in the world, after saying, we don't believe in discrimination. We believe in being great to everybody. We don't believe in this and that. But you want to be these ancient royal Egyptians who did those
brutal.
exact same thing. They
Right.
were brutal.
Yeah.
So in ancient Egypt, there was only one period where sub-Saharans. I'm trying to remember the country that's directly south from Egypt. Motherfucker. Whatever. Anyway, sub-Saharan Africans did manage to, and they were called Nubians. There was at one point a Nubian revolt. They managed to come up and conquer Egypt. And they did have their own series of pharaonic dynasties. I think there was about 3 Nubian pharaohs. I think there was 3. Don't quote me on that. So there was a period of time where there's extremely dark-skinned pharaohs in Egypt. But it was like, I think it was only like 3. So if there was kings and quangs, oh fuck, I can't even speak. I can't even fucking speak. My brain is turning to mush again.
That was amazing.
Sound like me when I do.
I know, dude.
Oh my God.
That is a new chicken wing name. Kings and quangs.
Please take that clip. Please save that clip and put it just by itself and put it up. It's awesome.
But they're saying, like, if you are talking about sub-Saharan Black African, then you're talking about there was like 3 or at least just a handful of kings and queens. Got it right that time. Thank you. That apparently all Black American slaves were descended from somehow, magically. It doesn't make any sense.
These areas that you're seeing with the Dogon, they say that the Dogons themselves are the forgotten parts of those tribes that actually ended up or who were driven out of ancient Kemet.
The Dogon were a group of Africans from the West Coast who had in fact been able to achieve a degree of astrological superiority and dominance that we really don't see a contemporary for or
Astronomical what?
Was it astrological or astronaut?
Yeah, because it's different.
He said it wrong.
Yeah.
Astronomical.
Astrological.
Is that like
I know.
is that like what is astrological? Is like people who read your what is it? Like Taurus?
People who read your horoscope.
Like,
that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Astrology is
Like,
bullshit.
Yeah, it's like saying you were born in the 3rd moment of the year where Uranus was in, like, I don't know.
Okay, you were born at 3rd of the year where your anus was. That's hilarious.
That was awesome.
For other than what was achieved in Nile Valley civilization.
And people began to chase the Dogon to examine them because you couldn't figure out how these so-called primitive Africans would have knowledge of of astronomy, particularly the white dwarf star Sirius B, that Western astronomy itself is only coming to grips with. And so the Dogon have developed a kind of, I almost said infamy in the world. In fact, there's even a book called The Sirius Mystery, and it's about how the Dogon, these primitive Africans, could have knowledge of a star system that's invisible to the naked eye. So the Dogon are black people in Mali with an astronomical lore.
Interesting. It's interesting how the other guy said astrological when I think he meant astronomy and not or whatever. He said astrological at first, and now they're talking about astronomy. So he meant astronomy. But I really, once again, lack of citations. I really like to know what this star system is that these people apparently discovered. What they discovered looking at the stars, whatever. I mean, I'm almost convinced that these people did what the Native Americans did and just took a big hit of something strong and came up with something. But you know what they do? They sit in a circle and they take a big hit of something strong. It was like, man, there's that star out there somewhere.
What tribe was this?
The Dogon.
No?
Dogon,
yeah. Which sounds like a sci-fi.
It's almost like a move from Street Fighter or something, like Dogon Ray or something.
Oh, yeah. I've heard the name Dogon before, but I can't remember from where.
We always see the AIDS-infested African babies, the African people.
What?
And let me guess, it doesn't happen in Africa, right?
This isn't like the 80s. Like, what is he talking about?
How can they jump from so many subjects so quickly?
I guess now we're talking about African AIDS. Okay.
AIDS is up in the stars.
AIDS is only caused by a lack of melanin.
Holy shit! Mind blown.
You could thank the Catholic Church for that one.
Oh,
yeah. Oh wait, you know what? I figured it out. So the Dogon found the stars, and they also found AIDS up in the stars. And because the stars don't have no melanin, they pass to the
because they're white.
Right? Because they're white, the AIDS passed to the people on the ground, but specifically in Africa, because somebody lost melanin and passed it to somebody else, and then.
What? Okay. Could it just be possible that the white people only had AIDS, not the black people?
And
And somehow, the white people, the treacherous white people as they are, managed to give all the AIDS to the Africans instead of keeping it.
Much hand wringing.
AIDS that's going on in Europe. Most people don't know that most of the new AIDS cases today are not in Africa. Most of the new AIDS cases.
Oh fuck!
They're in Haiti. Haiti.
Right.
Them damn white faggots. Jesus Christ, unbelievable, right? That's what we're gonna hear.
Well, I mean, I'd hate to be that person. I really hate to be that guy, but I'm
gonna be that guy. I'm always that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they're going to mention the French pilot. There. Unfortunately, I really hate to say it, and it makes a lot of people angry. But unfortunately, there is kind of like this correlation between homosexuality and HIV/AIDS. And they found that there was someone who was a French pilot, and he was gay when he traveled.
And he had sex with a monkey, right?
No, he didn't have sex with a monkey, but he got it from
There's
somewhere.
a rumor out there like that. No, there is a rumor out there like that.
I know, but he got it from somewhere, and he had it. He was the guy who managed to spread it to a whole bunch of people, and he just happened to be a pilot. But he was passing it on to a lot of different people, and that's kind of how like that whole boom started. But I've heard that it comes from bushmeat. It can come from bushmeat, and then I heard the other rumor where someone has sex with a chimpanzee, which is stupid because I don't know how you survive that. Yeah. So I don't know how they
yeah, really, right? I want to hear what his conclusion is on this statement. Here we go.
Russia, the Ukraine, and there's an AIDS epidemic over there in that area, but you never hear about it in the media.
Why did the great empires of Africa fall?
AIDS, sorry.
AIDS.
I love how Patty has like no chill whatsoever. It's like the third time she does that. It's amazing.
Guys, can we do this forever?
Nations are invaded at the end of their power. If you look at all of the great nations that rose, when nations are invaded, the nation itself is sick already. Only dying nations are invaded. Nations act like animals to each other. If the state is strong, which means it is in a constant state of war.
Is that KRS-One? He looks familiar to me.
Well, it's KRS-One, yeah.
Is it really? Yeah, I noticed.
That's straight up KRS-One.
Okay, because I used to listen to him back in the day when I was younger, but yeah,
Me
okay.
too.
He looked familiar to me. Yeah.
Continuously fending off what it doesn't. Well, not war always shooting and killing. Commerce wars, trade wars, competitions, even sports. The state is always in a constant push off.
Man, that guy's fast. Holy shit.
We want this acquisition. We want that. We gonna take that. Give and take. When another state starts to get weak because its people are unskilled, becomes ignorant, betray the king or queen or the ruling class, or the ruling class becomes tyrant and the people can't control the people anymore, any of these things, you lose your resources, just your state starts to deteriorate.
Yeah.
The minute your state starts to deteriorate, other states are looking at you. It ain't got nothing to do with we love you, we knew you, we know your family. As a matter of fact, we'll take you in. You go into exile and come on into our state. And come on in, but we taking you.
All right, so Doctors Without Borders just ceased to exist. These people in these high war zones, these people that are living in poverty, fuck it. Why should we donate to these organizations to help individuals that are less fortunate than we are? It's just absolutely absurd, man, to make claims like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's his viewpoint? What should we do then, KRS-One? What should we do? Right? Ignore them, not help them, not try to have them succeed when it comes to their, city, town, country. Fuck it, right?
It seems
we're taking
to
advantage
him,
of them, right?
right.
I'm sure countries have taken advantage of certain countries. Don't get me wrong, okay? You know this, but come on, man, this is just absolutely ridiculous when it comes to charities that are trying to help people that are less fortunate than we are.
Well,
It's
it seems
absolute bullshit.
It seems to him, and I've noticed this with even how people react to missionaries. Missionaries do things because not only do they want to help other people, but they believe in spiritual guidance and bringing certain spiritualities to other people. I've seen people not want to, because of their own personal bigotries with some things, they don't want certain organizations who've done great work to go there anymore because they have a certain bigotry about spirituality. It's the same thing with these groups. They don't want people to, or with this guy, they don't want white people to go over to other countries because God forbid they see white people and they learn about Western culture. They think that it's detrimental to African culture, when the reality is that they're just helping these people who need help.
Correct. Yeah, I definitely agree. And to expand on that is, since the 17th century, with Europeans going into missionaries going into Africa, they were actually helping the Africans out. Okay. And to a certain point, they were a danger, to the Africans. And one recent issue I can say is, of course, I brought it up earlier, was Vatican, the Catholic Church, saying, hey, listen, condoms, they're evil. Contraception, yeah, it's evil. Well, no, it's evil in your perspective, but it's not evil when it comes to a humanitarian effort, when it comes to poverty, when it comes to, trying to decline the fertility rate in these countries. Because let's be honest here, Africa has one of the highest fertility rates in the world, and this is a
Yeah.
big issue. This is
Oh,
a
I
huge
agree.
issue.
I
And
agree.
to say that it's demonic, it's evil, it's sinful to wear a condom or contraception, I'm like, this is just absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
And this is in part blamed or due to the Catholic Church, man. Let's be honest. And
Well, I totally agree. When it comes to, there is a point where you have to think about, well, there is what might be for the greater good. As if you are not hurting someone physically, you should think about other ways to keep, to help prevent them from hurting themselves. And so it would be in the greater interest of someone from Africa, where there's a place where people will rape you in the street,
yeah.
Contraception, condoms. That's something extremely important. But yeah, there are a lot of there are religious groups who believe, no, we shouldn't we should just try to change their nature. But I've tried to explain this to people, even in the United States, especially with, again, feminists. They believe that you can change the nature of people who are already evil.
You
No,
can't
you
change
can't.
human nature. You
You
can't
can't
change human
change
nature.
human nature.
No,
Instead
you
of
can't.
telling people not to rape, teach yourself self-defense.
And
Instead of
responsibility.
and responsibility. Don't people really hate it when other people say this, but drinking at night you really shouldn't do. I mean, getting drunk at night with no one to help you, you really shouldn't do. And if you do that, you're putting yourself in a dangerous situation.
Yeah, and
Well,
the key,
it's just, yeah. I don't want to go off of what the topic is, but does that make sense?
no, absolutely does. Yeah, absolutely does. And I'm sorry if we're going off topic, but yeah, people should be responsible for their own actions, and you shouldn't scapegoat your actions onto some kind of god or being or ritual. You shouldn't do that.
Right.
We should promote, take responsibility for your own actions,
Exactly.
and learn. The key point is learn from those actions on how bad they are and how negative they are, either on you, your family, or society. That's what you should learn.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
okay, go ahead. Move along. Sorry, guys.
Resources, why? Because you weak.
How can Africa be so poor and yet be materially so rich? It's real simple. The answer lies in the Structural Adjustment Programs, SAP, the Structural Adjustment Programs that are imposed on African nations by the International Monetary Fund of Washington, D.C., the World Bank of Washington, D.C., and USAID. These three organizations come into Africa, loan money, and then charge an interest rate on that money that they know the African nations can never pay back, thusly re-enslaving the entire nation and, in fact, the entire continent.
So we're back to everything is the USA's fault, despite the fact that we know that every time we've given aid to Africa, we've had insurgents come and steal food, steal water, steal money from people who are trying to transport it across dangerous areas like the Congo. Every single time we have tried to help out countries, they reject us and say, we don't want your white help. That's pretty much what they say, such as in Zimbabwe, kicking out white farmers despite them doing not even being a part of the issues from the past. This is even about the Middle East. We've had these problems where we send aid and their insurgents or their extremists come and steal it. Or in different cases, the government decides that they are not going to give it to the people, but going to feed themselves and feed their own materialistic wants. We've had this problem before, but we're just going to blame it on the US and say, oh, the US is raising loans and interest rates. Okay, that's probably, I don't know how true that is because they don't give citations. I'm sure the US does. They do it to their own citizens. But at the same time, there are issues in Africa where we have insurgents stealing supplies from people trying to transport it to people who need help.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm freaking out right now.
Why are you freaking out?
Would you
okay? No. My toenail's coming off. It's so gross. Oh my god.
Are you high?
Yes.
No. Like months ago, I got my toenail injured and it had like a big pool of blood, and I figured it might come a little loose, but it hurts.
Oh yeah, it might fall off.
Yeah, dude. I'm freaking out. I've never had a nail fall off. Oh my god.
Is Tyler there?
I think he went to go get something.
He went to get some booze.
Okay. Well, I can take over.
Tyler's not here?
I think
he went to get something to drink.
How can he leave? I might die. Why would he?
Well, listen. He might be putting on his white face. Who knows?
Now,
Skepo,
that
Skepo,
when-
I can. If you need help, I can go get you a loot.
I should have known. I should have known that was coming.
Damn.
Jesus.
Everything goes back to the loot.
Spanish, English, Dutch explorers would go through, let's say, the Americas, because a good example here for the African continent. Many of the places they arrived at were already abandoned. Our tribes leaders,
Let me show you a picture of a desert.
our kings and queens, our
Did anybody notice that?
traveled the world.
That's funny.
They were literate. They read and spoke many languages. They heard and knew. These guys are coming to take over the land. They got weird weapons, and this is what they're gonna do. They went back to their tribe, told everybody, gather up your stuff. We have to leave. There is an invading force coming. We have to go. So many tribes were warned. When this invading force came, many times they came and found the place deserted and just
Listen to Fade and Sweep.
I'm sorry, that music.
Did you listen to the Fade and Sweeps? With a little boom at the end. Boom.
Like that was just a
It's a
bomb.
big point. Yeah, like it was
That's
like
what
the
it's called?
biggest.
What is it called?
It's like a trailer.
Fade and sweep.
Right.
Yeah, the
know-
Fade
Oh,
and Sweep.
Fade and Sweep.
Yeah.
I'm a
You know what's
musician.
sad?
Boom.
I'm terrible at music, but I'm trying to learn like all
Oh,
this stuff.
I've been doing music
it's
for
really
years, electronic.
it's really sad because I believe that that could have happened, but they don't have any sort of physical and factual information to back it up. Like I totally believe that could have happened,
Yeah, absolutely.
but it pains me to say, look, you don't have any citations or physical evidence for me to go on, so it makes me skeptical.
Well, the problem is if it was true and if it is true, how's it relevant today and how do we fix it? Do we dwell on the past on what happened in the past, or do we fix what is happening now? Do we
Right.
address what's happening now? Right. So that's what's happening. They're dwelling on the past. They're bringing up past. I don't think they're going back hundreds and centuries and millennia. It's okay. How's it relevant today? I'm like, let's
How's
fix
it going to
today.
help us?
Yeah,
Like that
Yeah, it's like, come on.
they come up with this stuff. They do this on Twitter. They say things. Well, are you not a victim of the past suppressions? And like, I'm sorry. Hold on.
It's like maybe my ancestors were. Yeah, but how's that relevant to me today when I want to be a better person to individuals in every race or every ethnicity? I try to treat them equal, of course, and I do. And it's just like, especially my work environment. I have I work in what you would call what they do call an urban enterprise zone. So tax in New Jersey is 7%, but where I work is 3.5% because we have a high rate of poverty. A lot of my employees, half my employees are minorities, and I get along with all of them. We all get along well, and we talk about these issues. Seriously, we talk about the regressive agenda, and most of my people that I work with are non-regressive liberals, and they have open minds, and we talk about the terror attacks. We talk about Black Lives Matter, and we get along as, a multicultural, department, and we talk about this stuff, and we agree, and I think that's great to have. I'm like, even though we shouldn't be doing it at work, but these guys are cool with it. They're the ones that bring it up, and like we have a common consensus agreement when it comes to these issues, and I think that's healthy. It's healthy to a certain point. We work hard, and when we're dead, what you would call dead when you have no work, we talk about things like this, and we watch videos, and it's good. And it's just like where I work, I'm like, I am a prime example of a person that works with other minorities in the industry, and it's great. I think it's great that you can have these discussions with other people and really come up with an opinion and just talk about it. You know what I mean?
Talking about political stuff around your workers, like your I guess your
we do, and it's just
like, it's
awesome.
It's awesome, but like everywhere I work, like I don't really talk about that kind of stuff. I leave it at home, basically.
I don't, but they bring it up, and they're like, it's me. So
you're pretty brave for doing that, actually, because I tried doing that at work, and here's the thing. They aren't regressives or whatever, but they are the normal people that don't give a shit. They're just, okay, but yeah, I don't care about this. And I'm like, well, have you heard of the feminists they have done? Here in Argentina, feminists are crazy. Maybe you have heard about it. They are insane. We have a pretty particular kind of insane.
You should give them
feminism.
the video links to the feminists just, without the bras and just yelling and stuff in Argentina.
Yes, and hitting people, and yeah, they are insane. And well, the people that I work with, they are like, okay, but feminism is good because women are like, they aren't they like problems that they have every day, that they, face all this discrimination and work like they are. I don't want to say useful idiots, but they are normal people. They just
It's
sit
just-
there and absorb.
It's like when I see those feminist videos from Argentina, I'm just wondering, like, it's just cancer everywhere. Just any part of like the world is just somehow cancer.
Oh yeah.
It just amazes me. And considering that,
I don't wanna say they are useful idiots because I don't like the expression, but I don't know how to say it. They just sit there and like absorb like a sponge all the popular narratives, and just have. And when you try to discuss this shit, of course you are not supposed to discuss something if you don't wanna, because I don't know. Some people don't wanna talk about politics because they are bored,
Yeah.
or they are not interesting, or they are a source for disagreements and like arguments.
yeah, like the only time I talk about it is like on my channel or with people like you guys. Just the only time I don't
Yeah.
do it at work. Like that's a bad sign if I do it at work.
I have one friend, one real life friend that I will talk about race relations with, and it's
Yeah.
probably because he and I absolutely love making everybody uncomfortable. He's well, I mean, I hate to say it because like Eugene is a pretty homogenous city. There's not really a whole lot of black people in Eugene, and it's my friend David, and he is a very, very large, very black, very handsome man, very charismatic, and he and we love to fucking talk with each other openly about race issues because everybody else is totally uncomfortable with it, but he
Right.
and I like don't give a shit.
Well,
Yeah.
like all my friends that I've grown up with, I don't talk about politics with because majority of them are either uninterested or they bought into a more progressive and regressive stance on politics.
Right.
I talk about politics all the time with my husband because that's how we met, was politics pretty much. But however, my family does not like talking about politics. Talking about politics in my family, like my mother and grandparents, is taboo. You don't do it. And in fact, every time my husband and I go visit my parents, I say, do not talk about politics, period. Don't mention guns. Don't mention abortion. Don't mention racial issues. Don't do it. Don't do nothing. Just enjoy the food and don't say anything about
Yeah,
politics.
basically around family, I don't want to do that either because it will probably push some buttons.
It is, but I think it's healthy though. I think it is healthy. to talk
It is
about
healthy.
it. I just
It
don't.
is healthy to talk about it. It's just with my family, I'm
Yeah.
a conservative who does not like voting Democrats,
Yeah.
and they are all traditional Democrats.
Mhm.
And talking about this is just not welcome. I remember one time my mom brought up guns, and I'm very pro Second Amendment, and I mentioned to her, I said, "Ma, the AR-15 is not an automatic gun; it's a semi-automatic gun," and she immediately said, "I don't want to talk about it." And I was like, and I feel like it was because I mentioned facts and kind of destroyed her narrative about what an AR-15 is.
Right.
But she immediately did not want to talk. Every single time we've had these conversations, it's cut off because she doesn't like talking about politics. She's fine voting Democrat, even though I think it's hypocritical, but that's just her. She does not like talking about it, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I'm so jealous that you guys actually can have guns, because here we can't.
Yeah.
And people are like so against it. People are still buying into the narrative of having guns means more, robberies or more muggings or more. No, it's the other way around.
Right.
And it's not like, if you ban it, it's not like the bad people aren't going to get them anyways. You know?
Yeah.
Wait. In Argentina, you don't have any guns at all?
No, it's illegal.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to go off subject or anything, but I've said this before to people. The Second Amendment is a right that cannot be changed. And if people knew the background of why certain people weren't allowed, I don't want to mention like racism or sound like a victim or anything, but guns used to be illegal for black people in the United States, and they believed that if you allowed black people to be citizens of the United States and not slaves, you would have to allow them their Second Amendment rights, which would mean that they'd have the ability to, to
break your ass,
rebel,
yeah,
to rebel against powers, like, and that's what it used to be. And there are black people who are very anti Second Amendment and stuff, and I'm like, do you understand that it kind of goes against your whole progressive social justice narrative for you to be against guns because you feel like black people can't handle themselves with guns or something?
Right.
I just shot off a shotgun actually a couple of weeks ago, and it was the most exhilarating feeling after.
Was it your first time?
It was my first time, but
Okay.
even though I know a lot about guns, it was my first time ever shooting a shotgun with a number 4 buckshots, and I was like, oh man, I shot off that thing. My left ear was ringing,
Patty,
but then I was like, woo!
And Patty, you and your fam gotta get over here to fucking Oregon. We're all gun nuts over here. We got a fucking wide ass array.
I don't like saying where I live, but I lived out in the deep south in the country. Everybody deer hunts. Everybody loves hunting. I tried to go out squirrel hunting. Those freaking squirrels are such buttheads. I couldn't shoot them. It was really hard to aim at a squirrel.
You have to have squirrel stew.
I want to try so bad, but
a guy in my work makes it all the time, and he wants me to eat it. I'm like, no, dude.
All right. Let's get some more cancer in our lives.
Right. Oh, wait. Before that, I don't want to go off subject again. But did anybody see my Twitter trend? Not trend. My Twitter thread of me plucking a chicken.
Yes.
Yes, I did. Yeah. I did.
I had a couple people actually get offended with me for it.
Fuck those people.
I'm not surprised.
Why was Muammar Gaddafi killed? Muammar Gaddafi was murdered because he, along with the other African heads of state, were about to bring into existence Africa's first central bank. They were erecting a central bank in Africa, which was going to do what? Back its money to the resources under the ground in Africa. Now, what would that have done to the global economic order? Remember, the United States dollar isn't backed on any natural resource. The British pound.
The Libyan rebels killed Gaddafi. There's rumors out there that a drone attack killed Gaddafi, but he was in a fucking, I think it was, sorry for cursing, I don't know if we can curse here, but.
Oh, we can curse, yeah, curse. Please.
Okay, he was in like some kind of sewage pipe. I forget what the year was. And yeah, it was the rebels that killed him, so okay. Yeah. The point is what?
Isn't backed on any natural resource. The Canadian dollar, the European Union, their currency isn't backed on any natural resource because Europe doesn't have a lot of natural resources. Africa. So if they would have been successful in creating
so I guess we should deny Gaddafi on, where he killed so many civilians, right?
Right. That had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it.
This is so funny because this is like the same shit we hear when it comes to what's the guy name in Syria? Assad, where he was killing civilians and using chemical warfare against his own civilians, right? So this is sort of similar what Gaddafi did. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It absolutely was.
Africa,
yeah, of course it was.
Coming up with a unitary currency and then backing that currency to the material wealth under the soil, they would have bankrupted every other economic system in this world from America to Europe to China. That was revolution, and that's why Muammar Gaddafi had to be assassinated because he was about to help the.
I just have to point out, like,
African Americans.
He had a picture of a fucking diamond mine. Conflict diamonds are a huge fucking problem out there in the world right now. Now, the problem with conflict diamonds, who do you think runs the conflict diamond mines?
I have no idea. Educate us. Let's go.
Well, by and large, the vast majority of conflict diamonds are being harvested inside of conflict zones in African nations. And these are usually run by brutal fucking warlords that don't give a fucking shit about their citizens. They don't care about the people. They don't care about any of it whatsoever. So they
care about their money.
They care about their fucking money. So even if you're going to be basing, because that's the only resource that was even inferred in this video, that if Gaddafi was going to be establishing the central bank of Africa, and it was going to be based on conflict diamonds, that means that he wanted to set up a global economic force based upon the slave labor, the brutal mistreatment of African people. And you're trying to tell me that this is like some big conspiracy to kill a saint? What the fuck?
It's a good point. Good rant.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
African heads of state eliminate modern slavery and neocolonialism from the continent.
You know what?
Neocolonialism.
That whole the whole lie. You know, I'm sure there are African, you know, heads of states who care to get rid of slavery, but you know what? There are a lot of them that use women who are in sex slavery. There are a lot of them who don't. They just don't care, and there are a lot of people. There are a lot of countries in Africa that have no heads of state. They don't have a government, period.
Yep.
And they have women and children of both sexes being kidnapped for sex. And some of those people out there do not care. The only people who care are their families. And even in some instances, it's their family members selling them off for money. Like that's the idea that some of those heads of state care because they happen to be Africans is just beyond me. Some of them don't care because some of them actually use that slavery.
Right. I agree. The human trafficking is bigger today than it has ever been on the planet. There are more.
Yeah, and it's disturbing. It's highly disturbing. You know what I found out? I found out that majority of in the United States, that majority of girls who go into sex trafficking are 12 years old.
Oh yeah.
That is the age that they go into.
Yeah.
When they as the majority. And you know what? And and this kind of goes, I'm sorry to bring him up, but this goes into the Onision thing, where people don't seem to care as much about pedophilia as they should.
But they should.
You know,
they fucking
these
should.
kids are 12. They should. These kids are 12 years old going into sex trafficking because maybe they're runaways or who knows. But you know, there are other kids who are not in this situation, who are in these like, you know, posh, great lifestyles, who think that it's okay to send pictures of themselves to 30-year-old men because they don't understand the reality that this stuff enslaves other women.
Yeah.
And that his demand for little girls' pictures helps fuel the demand of grown men and women who are looking for young kids to sexually abuse.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Exactly.
Dude, I totally
Like the problem with my opinion in the whole Onision problem is basically the dude wasn't a pedophile, but he was enabling such a fucking network of people that could grab those pictures, grab the information from these kids, and like, I don't know, fool them into sending more pictures, telling them where they live. Like, that's the problem. The problem wasn't that he was a pedophile, he wanted the pictures. No, the problem was that he was being a fucking retard and enabling
I think he's both.
this shit to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I think
Tyler, take the wheel.
He's both. Personally, I think he's both because, you know, who does that? Who moves down to where his 17-year-old girlfriend is living at 20-something years old?
He's a
you know, in
fucking
his
idiot.
late
I don't
20s.
think
He's 30, isn't he?
He's in his 30s.
Yeah,
he's
32.
31 or something.
Right?
32.
Yeah.
And he met his wife when she was 17, and he moved down there to date her at 17 years old. I understand she was just a year from 18, but that's still, you know, she's still not 18.
Yeah, that's an indication maybe, but I just don't understand. I'm like, I'm 43. I can't fathom of starting a forum or even starting a video series about, you know, rating
girls'
bodies, even though it's
but he's an idiot.
even
You
there's no
guys are
age
thinking
restriction. I'm like, that's just off. That's creepy, man. That's
It's
I
extremely
know.
creepy and it's
damn.
off.
Like, who would do that?
But
Come
you know
on.
what? He's also mentioned that his father's a pedophile. This kind of stuff kind of goes down.
Could be
the road.
hereditary. We don't know.
Did he actually?
Personally, I want to go to his house and reintroduce.
I think it's
him
one
with
of
the
those
fire
videos he
hydrant.
did.
Exactly. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. And if I found out it was my kid, I don't know that he would be safe.
No, he would not. I show up at his house with that fire hydrant. His dad threatened.
And it's so funny that he stated that he was going to discontinue the series. So
Well,
Yeah, and
he's
he
discontinued
said,
his whole life.
I wonder why. It's questions. It's questions. we need to
log
find.
off of life. No, but actually, wait, one more thing. He did say recently. I didn't watch the video because I can't bear seeing him for more than like 1 second.
Same.
But he actually quit on feminism or something. Like
Oh
he's
my
not
God,
gonna
I saw
talk
that.
more because
No,
there's
I
a video on that.
I think he's quit talking about feminism. He's still the little feminist cuck that he is. He just quit talking
Oh.
about feminism.
Love it. Feminist cuck. Amazing. It's funny. All right, here we go.
Europe.
Oh, Europe. Oh, there we go. Let's go. Let's do this.
One of the things that you find is that European culture begins to take off after the first civilized Europeans, the Greeks, make contact with Kemet or Egypt.
Greeks themselves were not white people, and even today, you any Greek. I was in the military. I was stationed in Athens and Piraeus. We know we're cousins. Let's stop playing.
We still have.
God, we still have cousins. Did you just say that? Did I hear that right? He said I still have cousins there or something.
Yeah, he basically said that the Greeks were his cousins because they're dark skin complexion.
It's amazing, to be honest with you. I'm like Europe back in the day during the Roman Empire was the most successful, civilization back then, minus Asia, the Chinese. Let's be honest, right? So yeah, it was good. Sorry, go.
Greeks living in Greece right now to this day, and people pretend they don't know where they came from, but there are black Greek people living in Greece right now.
People of Ireland long before, and the people of Scotland long before the Romans came, were already African peoples.
Oh,
You are so fucking full of shit, dude. So full of shit, it's coming out your fucking eyeballs.
I mean,
He's basically saying that my lily white husband is African. That's what he's saying.
I'm like, does he realize that everybody's ancestors, descendants, they all came from Africa? When it came to
everybody.
Everybody
I
came.
mean, yeah,
It's like
yeah.
we splintered off with it. They moved up into Europe and moved over to Asia and over there, and then all eventually to the West. And come on, man, it's just like we all came from Africa. Hey, listen, I know it's an argument that people like to try to debunk, but it's the truth.
Oh, you wouldn't believe there are some white supremacists who believe that the out of Africa theory is false and just a theory.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, you're 100%.
I just made a video about it. You should go look at it. I just made a video about it. He actually believes that the out of Africa theory is false because he believes the out of Africa theory is saying that white people are albinoid Africans or something.
Patty,
albinoid.
Patty, do me a favor in our chat here. Link me your Twitter and your YouTube, and I'll check it out.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm using a phone to do this, so I'll have to do it after.
Oh, later. That's fine.
I have a question about the Scottish, Irish, Black people, African. African. So if I'm from Africa originally, and he wants to point out the fact that we're all relatives and we're all came from Africa originally, why am I the racist and bad person now?
I asked that same question on like a previous stream. If everyone's from Africa, is anybody racist?
I mean, he's pointing it out. He's trying to say, hey, they're Africans too, so we're all kin, right? I mean, he just said that the Greeks and the Africans are, they nodding together. They nod to each other, know that they're cousins. So,
You know what that means? It means you was Cain.
Yeah, basically, nice. Spider logic.
Skepo,
I'm gonna get a T-shirt.
Skepo used to be a Muslim, so whatever.
This is true. This is true.
Why? If you see a picture of a Scottish person, there's always somebody with like this real thick black.
Hey, listen,
hair,
I used to wear a kilt, motherfucker, so don't fuck with me.
And it's real thick black. What do you think they're trying to tell you?
No, they can't.
What?
What are they trying to tell you?
Where did they come from? He just said, "Oh my god."
No. He's saying that because the Scottish have like a black beard, therefore they must be black.
Now, why did he say what do you think they're trying to tell you? Like, what do you mean? What are my phenotypes trying to tell you? What does that mean?
Fucking Jesus.
Came from, but there are black Greek people living in Greece right now.
All right.
Whose
people
family
of
photo was
Ireland
that?
long before the
I have no
Romans came,
idea.
long before
Poor
the
people.
Romans came.
Yeah, just search.
Already African peoples. Why you? If you see a picture of a Scottish person, there's always somebody with like this real thick black hair, right? And this real thick black. What do you
It
think
doesn't look
they
black
turn
to me.
to?
But
Thick
anyway,
black hair. What the fuck? What?
nice
What?
fucking,
That guy's
I
hair
am
was
Scottish,
Golden
bitch.
Brown.
nice
Like,
stock art.
What?
Bagpipes are actually a traditional African instrument.
Yeah, that's true.
I had no idea. Wow, it's amazing.
Are you getting woke?
I am getting woke.
Okay.
I think
Definitely.
we're all getting woke.
I've never been
Goatees
this
are
woke.
black? I don't get it. Is he
Shame
saying
on
that bears are black?
I wonder if he's
why
been
do
to
they-
Scotland or Ireland.
He's saying that basically native Scottish were black people.
Why do they always post pictures? Why do they always post pictures that go exactly opposite of what
Exactly, it
they're saying?
doesn't match
Like,
what they're saying.
It's like
Dude, no,
remember that lady about the tarps, and then they went and showed tarps in Africa. And
Yeah, and the
they
civilization,
don't have no tarps.
and the civilizations that were like, you
This
know,
makes
in
me
the
mixed
desert.
race.
Yeah.
This makes
Remember
me mixed
the-
race. Seriously.
Yes.
I'm Scottish
Remember
and
the-
American, right? I'm mixed race. So I'm,
Go.
dude.
Remember you just remind me, buddy. Remember the fucking bulls? Like the toreros that were the white man and the bulls were black.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was the
And
first
they
movie.
showed, next frame, they show white bulls running across the screen. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I'm just a bull, just getting chased by the white bull.
Yes.
There's a running gag, man. If you watch Hidden Colors long enough, eventually you become black. So, welcome.
Report a few years ago saying that King Tut shared DNA with men up in Britain. And the thing is,
No,
the Egyptians...
King Tut shared DNA with his his mother and father who were sisters. That's who he shared DNA with.
Yeah, I guess they sequenced some bit of biological matter from King Tut, and like he apparently had, through some long standing interbreeding, had European ancestry, but it was very slight.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very
But that's
slight.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really necessarily that surprised, but
No, I'm not, but I didn't know that.
because I mean, like, Egypt was kind of the center of the world for the longest time. All trade ended up in Egypt, so I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
went into Britain, particularly Scotland, later on down the line. As a matter of fact, Scotland is named after an Egyptian princess, Scotia. And many of the...
I don't think so.
I've heard that before. I think it's sort of on that line. Yeah. Not currently, but in the past, yeah.
What the fuck? Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Okay,
I've heard it before, yeah.
Scotland.
Okay. Yeah.
Where did it live?
Yeah, Scotland entomology.
Nova Scotia.
Well, I think the real thing is, why should we even care? Why should we be?
Yeah, but
It's irrelevant. Yeah, all these points they make are in the past. I'm like, how's it
Right.
relevant today? It's what we've been talking about. It's like,
I'm kind of wondering, are our minds is this? I guess this is for supposed to mind blow actual white supremacists or something, because why should we even care where the name comes from? Names come from all sorts of different people. It wouldn't be surprising if a name was from someone who was African. It does.
Right.
Why should we care?
well, that's their narrative, right? Or at least their false narrative that they like to portray.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Descendants of those Egyptians are there to this day, but they're now known as gypsies. And the term gypsy is just a variation of the word Egyptian.
No!
No, it's not.
No. What? No.
I'm sorry.
Everything
but
comes
if
from
you-
Africa. Everything is Egyptian.
If they want
Everything
to
was
be,
named after something Egyptian. Of
I'm
course.
sorry, but if they want to be connected with those My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding people, they can go ahead and do that.
His Greek wedding.
I can't sit. You guys should see that show. That is some crazy stuff. Half the stuff they do on there is illegal.
What kind of gypsies are we talking about too? Like Romanian gypsies, or I can't even talk gypsies, or Irish gypsies? What are we talking about?
Seems like gypsy is a very broad term now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Moors.
They're travelers.
Moors.
They're like, I know like the gypsy lineage is the Romanian, but there's the Irish gypsy. They're like travelers.
Yeah, it says Romania, a Romanian.
Yeah.
A member of a traveling people with dark skin and hair who spoke Romania and traditionally lived by seasonal work, fortune telling in Europe, North Africa, North America.
They're still around.
Yeah. Oh, of course, yeah, of course, gypsies are, yeah.
Never mind. I was.
Whites have long hair. Blacks have short, curly hair. What is?
No, we don't. We don't. No, we do not have short. No,
Mm.
no. My hair is pretty darn long. We don't have short hair. Our hair. You know what? I want to smack this guy because I like my hair and I keep my hair very serious. So our hair is not maybe for his bald head. His hair is short. Our hair gets pretty darn long. But when our hair gets wet, it curls up and it gets short. But when we pull on our hair, it's actually really long. So don't he sit there and say that blacks have short. The little generalization. I have
black girls
hair.
have long hair, so
exactly.
So.
His
What about the
bald,
Greek?
shiny head? He just mad that he has a bald, shiny head.
The name of Scotland is derived from Latin Scoti, the term applied to the Gaels. The origin of the word Scotty or Scotty is uncertain. Found in Latin text in the 4th century describing a tribe which sailed from Ireland to raid Roman Britain.
Okay.
Yeah, it has nothing to do.
No. You got that wrong. You got that wrong. You forgot. They were sailing to reform Africa.
Oh,
that part where you said it's unknown. That's the part that the white man's trying to scratch out.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Damn snap.
Here, your follicle, my follicle is not round. It's flat, like a ribbon. So you know how Christmas, you rub your hand on the ribbon and it curls up? Well, that's the way our hair do.
And the relevance is
Our hair do.
It's superior.
A
And all hair
soda straw.
started like that.
It's round, so it hangs. What is the purpose for that? All of the main arteries that take the messages and information from the brain to the rest of the body pass through the human neck.
What?
No.
What is what? What are you? What?
What? Okay, can we go back like 9 seconds? Just real
Please.
like. Yeah, like 30. That right there is fine. Yeah. Here, hang on.
Black's hair, your follicle, my follicle is not round. It's flat, like a ribbon. So you know how Christmas, you rub your hand on the ribbon and it curls up?
Yeah, sure.
Well, that's the way our hair do. White hair is like a soda straw. It's round, so it hangs. What is the purpose for that? All of the main arteries that take the messages and information from the brain to the rest of the body.
Arteries don't take information, you fucking retard. Arteries carry blood. Blood.
Did he say arteries?
Yes, he said the main arteries
arteries.
of the body communicate information.
I didn't hear the first time, but holy shit, he said arteries.
That one's hang on. God fucking.
No,
I don't know if he's saying.
So upset.
I don't know if he's saying arteries or artery, like auto, like. I don't know.
He said artery.
Did he?
Okay, all right. I'm all right.
Pass through the human neck. So if you're caught in an ice age, you've got to grow enough hair to shield the neck, to insulate the neck.
I love these animations. Aren't they great? Come on. These animations are the best.
Whose hair is that? This person, whoever this guy was, he got a bowl cut and then did a party in the back.
What is happening?
What's happening to his head?
Jeff's getting some cardio in, man.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. I'm all right.
Otherwise, you're gonna die. Same thing with the nostrils. When you're in the son of Africa, you need these big nostrils we have because you got to cool the brain down.
You gotta cool brain.
So black people got big noses to cool their brains down? What the fuck?
I didn't know that's what my big nose was.
No. This has to be the biggest trolling video ever. I'm sorry.
Right.
People are so
I mean,
serious. They're
wouldn't
so
it
serious.
make more sense? Like, wouldn't it make more sense if the brain was hot, that we wouldn't grow so much curly, fuzzy hair? That would make a lot more sense.
Oh God,
dude, don't bring sense into it. That makes my head hurt.
Oh.
Sorry, Skepo.
But if you're in Europe and all that ice, you don't want to cool the brain down. So you need a smaller nostril bridge so you can warm the air up that's coming in. These simple physical and psychological.
God, no way.
We are so cool.
They
aren't that
It's
cool.
because these Neanderthal fuckers are already in the cold, so they don't need big noses to cool down their brains. Who the fuck is this guy?
This guy doesn't claim to be a doctor, I hope. Is this one of the guys that claim to be a doctor?
No, I hope not.
I hope not.
I want to know who this guy
Can you
is.
Making
imagine
sure.
him with the patient? Can you imagine him with the patient? Like, I got
Yeah.
a problem up my nose, sir. Well, didn't you know your nose is so small because you need to cool your brain down?
Oh my God, no, please, no.
I want to know who this guy is, what he does, because he is a fucking doctor, and it's fucking illegal.
He should be fired.
Yes.
Oh my God.
This is great.
Realities.
The Greeks lost their history, all of it. Okay, the Greeks lost all their history. You know
how
who
do we
had
know
their
about
history?
it?
The Arabs.
How do we know?
Just
Had the Greeks' history. The reason we know Greek history is because of Islam.
I was just ready to say, it's, you got to remember back in 6th century, 7th century is when the war between Christianity and Islam had taken place. And what happened was that Muslims took over many of the lands in Northern Africa and also into Europe back 7th, 9th, 10th, and 11th century. And that's when the Crusades started. And the Crusades was a defensive ploy against the Muslims in Europe. Yeah. And what happened was Christians took over, or tried to take over, which they did. They took over many of the lands that the Muslims did take over. I know this very well. I interviewed actually Bill Warner on this, and he's a very knowledgeable person when it comes to Islam. And
sure,
interviewed a guy. The guy's a great guy, knowledgeable guy. I have many of his books, and he talks about the mass Muslim migration that started in the 7th century, and that continued all the way up to the 16th, 17th century. And what happened? They infiltrated. They mass Muslim migration into Europe, and they took over these countries. And then the Crusades pushed them back. And I think there was like 13 or 14 Crusades, and they pushed them back, of course, back into the Middle East and Africa. And that's what he's basically, I think, talking about here.
Well,
and it's a fact. It's a fact. It does happen. They did take over parts of Europe at a certain point, but again, this is history. It has no relevance to that today. So
and the vast majority of like the vast majority of the wealth of knowledge that the Greek philosophers had attained and Rome maintained ended up being preserved by the Eastern Orthodox Church. And the Eastern Orthodox Church found themselves surrounded when Muslims took over the area, especially Syria. Now, the reason why that knowledge was not lost is because the Syrian Muslims decided that they would actually protect Christians.
Yes.
And they did. And they maintained the Eastern Orthodoxy Church, which would then later on, along with the remnants of the Byzantine Empire, basically move northern-ish to become the Russian Orthodox Church. So a huge chunk of Greek philosophy was preserved by the Muslims deciding that they didn't want to commit effectively an ethnic genocide against Christians.
You're 100% right, but we need to take into consideration the inequality treating Jews and Christians as second-class citizens, as dhimmis.
The Muslims hated the Jews.
They hated the Jews. They hate the Christians too. So
they hated
treat them as, they didn't kill them, but they treat them as second-class citizens, and they had to pay a tax.
Didn't they?
Jews, so.
I was going to say, didn't they have to pay a tax?
It's called a dhimmi. It's being a dhimmi, and you had to pay a tax.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they saw the value and the wealth of knowledge that they preserved.
Absolutely.
From
100% right. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's a fascinating time to actually study. It's amazing.
It's amazing. I love researching and studying that era.
Me too.
It's just like amazing. I love it. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Arabs revered Greek history. And what the Greeks were doing and all their philosophies, they wrote it all down. Then Greece lost their history through wars and this and that and the other. And they regained their history because of Arabic texts.
Oh Lord, here comes the Moors.
What?
The Moors are, remember the Moors? are Arabs, and they are black.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
They are
All right.
Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. What's 7-Eleven? 7-Eleven was when the Moors, Africans from Morocco, which is where the word Moor comes from, but Africans.
False. No, false. False. 7-Eleven is where I get my big cup Slurpee. That is where I get my 7-Eleven.
I was thinking that. I was thinking that.
That's great.
Oh, actually, can you give me context on this, because I don't know what 7-Eleven they're talking about. I was thinking of the place. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. But what? Can you give me context on this? What is?
He's talking about the year 711, and he's talking about. He's trying to make a correlation with Moors and Islam and Africa. And again, the big problem is that if you're talking about Northern Africa, you're talking about the Mediterranean peoples. That is not indicative of the massive fucking landmass that is Africa. You cannot fucking make a correlation between like somebody who lived in a Mediterranean fucking city and somebody who lived like in the middle of the Congolese fucking jungle. Like it's not the fucking same.
Northern Africa went across the Iberian Peninsula, which is a very short distance, into Europe. And they brought culture, they brought writing, they brought civilization, and they brought Europe out of the Dark Ages.
It was the
Dark.
Romans.
How did they bring the Europe out of the Dark Ages in the 6th century? You fucking twat. Do you know when the Dark Ages happened? You fucking retard.
No, apparently not.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I've heard. Is it a myth that people didn't know how to write and bathe themselves during the Dark Ages?
Well, the Dark Ages were from 400 to 1000 AD, I think. I'll just make it correct me on that. I think, but it's still. I like what he's saying. It's pretty much, in the era that he's talking. So,
I mean, I'm like, yeah. All right, that's fine. That's fair.
That began to call the black people in Africa. Because remember that day we didn't speak English. So if you don't speak English, you're not going to call yourself black, right?
What?
So,
what?
When do you think English was invented?
Right.
That's a funny. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Wow.
Like,
I mean,
I'm pretty
does
sure
he-
there's
he
black
knows-
in every language.
Okay,
so
I gotta look this
I mean,
motherfucker.
English
Professor
is
James.
kind of something. Is he saying that we wouldn't say black as we do now, or does he mean like we wouldn't say black as in the word black, as if the word black never existed or
Because
something?
you didn't speak English, so you're practically mute.
I mean, English has evolved over like many years. We didn't speak the same English as they did in Shakespearean times.
exactly, like a lot of the English words that we have today is like from Latin, from French, from a lot of different languages that evolve over time. And so
Correct. Yep.
I would think like black would be like in every single language that predates English.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking.
if you don't
We don't
speak
have a word for
traditional
black. We just
African
call it
language or
nothing.
Exactly. Just call it nothing.
Just call it nothing.
Because the Spanish, you will not call yourself Negro. At that time, Spanish was not dominant, so there's no Negro, there's no Portuguese. At that time, English is not dominant, so there's no black.
Well,
Wait,
what?
wait. Go back.
So there
No, I
was.
didn't
So he's
understand.
saying there was no word for black and no word for brown people ever.
Yeah,
Until
tell
English.
that to the Spanish and the Negro.
Did you say that a word for what? Yes, we do. Negro is a fucking color, you twat. Of course we didn't have one. Oh,
But you see, Negro does not count because it's not black.
Negro is black. Negro is black. I
There's something
fucking
down
hell.
here called Negro in a can, and I mean I had so much fun with it. It's called Negro in a can.
That time, the Romans
Oh,
were
it's
the
black.
dominant force, and the Roman word for black persons was Moorish, coming from the Greek roots for black.
I don't even
Epic
know.
music.
It's so funny they never bring up. At least I haven't noticed this yet. Of back in the day, 7th century up to the 11th century, I think was how prominent fucking slavery was when it came to the Muslims, when it comes to looking at Africa. You know, they enslaved black people, you know, back in
Yeah.
those days, and they did. And it's just like it's a reason why when you look at a map that Bill Warner did, and like, you know, how Northern Africa was mostly Islam, or, you know, the religion of Islam, Muslims in Northern Africa, you know, since the 8th century all the way up to now, still today, Northern Africa
Yep.
is predominantly Muslim Islam. So yeah.
And there's a lot of slavery and sex trafficking going on there,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
Surprise, surprise.
including the issue about Boko Haram capturing a bunch of young
Exactly.
women.
Like it's just so
Christians
amazing.
and Coptic Christians. Yeah.
It's just so amazing to me that they talk about the slavery in the past, but don't talk about the slavery in Africa and the Middle East right now.
Yeah,
You know what? I had
Tyler,
I
it's
had
white
a
people.
young lady.
Oh.
I mean, I had a young lady. We were talking about slavery on Twitter, and I told her, "What do you think about the slavery in Africa?" And she actually told me. She actually said this, that that slave owners in Africa would have never sold their slaves to white people if they knew what would happen.
Wow.
And I said,
Wow.
she said that to me, and I said, "Are you serious? You
Mind
actually
blown.
think they give a crap what happens after they sell their slaves?"
Oh, they were kind and benevolent.
Okay.
Oh, but
so-
that's what she said. She said slavery was not nearly as bad in Africa as it was here. She said that.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, they're only just worked to death in diamond mines. No big fucking deal. Jesus.
Right.
So
Man, Jeff's on these diamond mines, man. I think he wants some diamonds, man.
Dude, blood diamonds, conflict diamonds pisses me off.
Blood diamonds. There you go, man.
Human trafficking is like something that really bothers me a lot, and that's
Yeah,
like
same
part
here,
of it.
man.
Yeah.
So I looked this dude up, this Professor James Small. First of all, the only website he has for himself is on tripod.com. So while I'm trying to look this fucker up, like I'm getting flooded with spam on my cell phone, which is wild.
Wow.
Super wild. But apparently the extent of his, even though he's a professor, the extent of his education is he graduated high school. Oh.
That's it.
Oh.
But he was a bodyguard for the sister of Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Oh man,
No.
the education
And
must have been.
because of
Oh
that,
shit.
he's been lecturing for years and years, and even teaching for years and years about Black studies.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what qualifies this guy to get us so woke about fucking. Oh my god.
Well, he hasn't been to university?
He what?
He calls himself professor and he hasn't been to university. He's not a registered
What is the
As far as his
university
tripod site says, he holds no degree. But I mean, maybe there's more out there that is not available. But so far, it says
that would be awesome.
Right?
That would be so awesome if he just graduated from high school and he had balls that big that he'd go around calling himself professor forever.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Skepto, we know you like big balls. It's all right. Big balls.
They occupied Portugal. They occupied parts of southern France.
Of course they did, yeah.
Up until
Muslims you're talking about, I hope.
All the medical books on surgery and general medicine in Europe was written in Arabic. Isn't that extraordinary?
No.
All of the
Yeah, because that's the language they fucking spoke back then and wrote.
Right.
But again, I like to know, like, can they at least name at least one piece of text or something? Because again, when they don't name this stuff, I get really skeptical about what they're saying. Like, they have no physical evidence to back up what they say. I mean, is that too much to ask?
No, it's not. It's reasonable to ask that kind of evidence.
Universities of Europe, where the physicians and the scientists and the teachers were all studying, was in Spain and Portugal, run by the Africans that the West call Moors. And the reason the West keep emphasizing them as Moors, they don't want you to see that this is the same African we got enslaved that gave us all the wealth of knowledge that allow us to enslave.
What?
There it is. There it is. I told you. I called it. There it is. Moors are black. Moors are black. There it is.
At this time in Europe, we're talking the early 8th century, most European kings and queens could neither read or write. The Moors built vast libraries. Anybody, irrespective of your religion, you could practice your religious faith Judaism, Christianity, Islam in relative freedom. We find Moors in the army of the Spanish Emperor Trajan. In fact, in Italy, you have what's called Trajan's Column, and you can see more clearly.
I have a contention with something he said. He said that the royalty could not read or write. So is he saying that royalty, who ruled their country, could not give out certain decrees, could not give out certain laws because they couldn't read or write until some black people came to teach them how? And if
That's
that
what
is
he's
the
saying.
case, if that is the case, why don't the royalty speak the same language as the Moors?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't ask questions here. We just listen.
We just accept everything at face value.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
don't
but
ask
that's beyond
questions.
me. How can royalty not give out laws and decrees of their own country if they don't know how to read and write? How did they send letters to each other? Did they not know how to bathe too? Is that something you're going to say too?
I'm not surprised considering that there are some black supremacists that do say that.
Patty's bigotry right now is really triggering me.
I know.
It's up to 11, yeah.
More soldiers on horseback on that column. You can go to Rome and see it for yourself. You have at least one emperor in Rome of Moorish ancestry. His name is Macrinus. He's specifically described as a Moor. You have other high-ranking Moors in the Roman army.
The Moors were known for building castles all throughout Europe, and some of those same castles can actually be found around North Africa. They call them desert castles or kazirs, but they are castles all around Africa.
What?
I mean, no.
There's only so much bullcrap that you can take in one night.
Yeah, I think that's enough for me right now.
Is it?
Yeah, me
should
too.
we call it?
Yeah, let's
I think
call
we
it
should
another.
call it.
Yeah.
All right. So we're at so for reference, guys, we're at 35 minutes in.
That is crazy. We haven't even gotten to an hour.
Yeah, we didn't
We
even
didn't
make it
make
45
it.
minutes.
Wow.
Beyond half an hour. Fucking hell.
Well,
Thanks
I mean,
a lot, Tariq.
the first Hidden Colors was, what was it? An hour.
An hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, an hour
yes.
and 40 minutes. We managed to do it in 2 sessions. We made it 35 minutes into this one. It looks like this is going to be like a 4-parter for us to finish it. Which is
For
fine.
all the damage that has been done to my brain, I am going to go online and buy me a loot. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I mean, we do this.
And aspirin, too.
We do this. What is it? Like every other week, we try and do this.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much.
I mean, it might take us. It might take us a while, but like, it just means it gives us a good reason to hang out, guys.
Yeah.
It is, and we are all such a great team. Isn't that right? I don't even remember the name of the comment section anymore.
Stream
comments. Isn't that right, guys? We're all such a great team.
Yeah, team.
Buddy,
And
I'm pretty sure Skepo is the stone one here.
Right?
Yeah. Skepo's ripped up.
You need to share the stuff that you
should've saw
have.
You should have saw me by the end that I had made that debunking video. Like I was drooling by the time I made that debunking video because my brain was so messed up. And then I had to listen to this.
I'm so sorry.
Thanks a lot, Tariq.
I know. Tariq does terrible things to our brains.
Tariq does terrible things to humanity, like making videos that he shouldn't be making.
Agreed. Absolutely.
This is amazing. Like this is oh wow. This is amazing.
And he gets money out of this. Like we are so, you know what I feel? Like we are all so fucking stupid because we are getting jobs and studying careers, and this man is just getting money out of it. We're fucking stupid, guys.
I know.
We should be doing this.
Yeah, just make up bullshit and make tons of money.
All right.
Much easier that way.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I feel super woke. Like I might be woke enough for like a good 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'm extremely woke. I'm extremely woke.
So in 2 weeks' time, we'll get even more woke again. So for everybody who's out there watching, thank you so much for joining us tonight for this installment of Torture of Hidden Colors. It's been me, Jeff Holiday, Tyler Preston, Patty Politics, Prince of Dew, Live Life 42, and Skepo. We have been your torture buffer.
Right.
And yeah, so this stream, if you're watching this right now, the stream is going to be unlisted. All of these end up getting unlisted. At some point, I guess we'll chop this up into fun videos or something, but it will go on to a playlist on your channel.
My
Tyler?
playlist, yes.
Yeah. So if you need to find this again, it'll be on a playlist on Tyler's channel. But otherwise, it's going to stay unlisted. We're not doing this for like money or views. We're doing this just because it's fucking hilarious. Because we like it out. Yeah.
Hey, remember you guys to still do #SmugTariq. I want to see your pictures and your memes that you made.
Meme this bitch. Meme this bitch. Do it.
Yes.
Fucking do it.
#SmugTariq.
#SmugTariq for sure. All right, so
yeah, I think there's like 15 or 16 pictures already on there.
Yeah, no, there is.
Oh,
There's,
really?
There's a few.
Oh, man.
There is?
Yeah.
Memes? Yeah,
Oh
there's like
my
15 or
God.
16 of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
There's a few. Absolutely. All right. So from all of
We're
us,
leaving, Joe.
From all of us to all of you, good night. Good night, you
Good night.
beautiful
Good
animals.
night.
See ya.
See you.
Hey Joe, what's your Twitter handle so I can send you my stuff?
It's Live Life.